Well, none of them can hide from the truth, yeah. Children have to go back to the roots, yeah. None of them can hide from the truth, yeah. Children have to go back to the roots. I'm telling you now, the truth, the truth. Telling you, yeah, the truth, the truth. You have to go back to the roots, the roots. Go to the roots, to the roots. Yeah, man, this is Benjamin out of the Smiling Coast, West Africa, Gambia, representing for the one and only Abu, the big man you don't know, the Soninke warrior, the man that brings the truth, Soninke warrior, the sign of enlightenment, the Soninke warrior, the righteous and the true African. Abu, reveal the truth to them, no matter how them try run from it, because none of them can hide from the truth, yeah. Yes, we have to dig back the roots, yeah. Fire!
Subscribe now.
I remember the days, all those years ago that never fade away. And I remember your face when you hit the ground. I can recall the time and place on a midnight walk through the old streets, trying to turn back the clock to the days of old, back to the days when all the things we knew were made of gold. As the world moves on, time sings a song. In the old neighborhood, as the clock strikes one, the memory lives just as it stood, like a quiet dream. The shadows of that time are cast beneath the streetlight beam.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Afridamus Report. I'm your host, Afridamus. I want to welcome all of you to another edition of the Afridamus Report. And if you haven't already hit the like button coming in, hit the like so that this message can reach the rest of the people. Spread the love to all the blacks out there and the Africans, the white people, everybody to come and watch, the best show on this side of heaven. So make sure you hit that like, because you truly don't want other people to miss out on
You are
this.
watching the best show on this side of heaven.
You guys like that? All right, ladies and gentlemen, today we are going to talk about black fatigue. And I'm sure you guys have heard black fatigue already. But you see, most people just see it for face value. They don't take the time to psychoanalyze it. You see? They don't take the time to psychoanalyze it. They just see the behavior and people are they're like, oh, we are fed up completely. Oh, let me say hello to the people in the chat. We have No Name 3. Oh, No Name, you are already triggered before the show started. He said, federal immigrant worried about FBA but wouldn't talk about his own mother getting kidnapped by Boko Haram. That's why Africa's staying behind. Well, I mean, you don't have to talk about my mother like that. She wasn't kidnapped by Boko Haram, but thank you, though. And we have Ja. Salute to you, Ja. We got St. James in the house. LL. He said, Black Fatigue is a book describing how FBI are tired of explaining white supremacy. Now white people and immigrants stole the title. Well, that's not true. It's not true. You see, that's it. That in itself is black fatigue, because you see, there's something about not all, but most blacks, they do not know how to take accountability. Either they play victimhood, they blame everybody outside of them except looking inwards. So therefore, they go about disturbing everyone's inner peace because they cannot deal with their own inner peace. So they go about disregarding, societal norms, just doing anything, anything they want. So at first, it looks like it was white people that suffered from it. But as blacks, they started traveling around the world, even in Africa, you know, people are beginning to feel the black fatigue. So today we're going to get in the bottom of it. We're not just going to say, how like some people just say there is black fatigue, you see, but they don't explain it. They don't give the answers to the blacks. So that's what we're going to do today. I'm going to review a video by a very, very smart intellectual, called Zanu. Zanu, he engages young black people, or any black person, to get them to change their mind. And that's exactly what I'm doing over here. I'm not here to beat down on the blacks, just so you know. I know some of you just like to cry, but you see, sometimes you need to go stand in that mirror. Don't be afraid. Don't be afraid of what is looking right back at you. Because you see, when you look at that face to face, deep dive into your own soul, start asking yourself questions like, why do I feel the way I feel? Why do I act the way I act? Why am I not holding myself accountable? Because how can someone go about and commit crimes, murders, and still blame outside forces? So that's what we're going to be, talking about. For example, let me give you an example of, what black fatigue is like. For example, black ghetto people have normalized this. And if you look at it, it's not necessarily all blacks, but now it's hard to tell who is who, because who is holding these blacks accountable? Because when you meet other blacks who you think are reasonable, have sense, they would make excuse for the behavior of these other blacks. The ghetto blacks holding the rational blacks hostage, is that what is going on? Because even black people, rational black people themselves, are feeling the black fatigue. This is not just a white thing, or like to say, like they like to say, terrorists, immigrants. No, 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 no. It's even black people. Believe you me, I'm not sitting here telling you, oh, it is, people have black fatigue because of all black people. No, that's not what's going on. Some of you in the chat, if you're going to be honest, if you're a rational black, you want to tell me you don't have fatigue over some of these behaviors? For example, let me show you how, blacks have turned even prestigious educational institutions into. They call this graduation day. Let me show you how they celebrate graduation. It will blow your mind. This is crazy. So this is one of the cultures. Here we go. You see that? You see that? This is supposed to be at a graduation, college graduation. And you notice they are all females. So now it makes sense why a lot of these men act the way they act, because of the way the women raised them. And I have said this a long time ago. I was talking to someone, because I've been studying the blacks for a while. I said, I notice everyone says the blacks are a problem. I said, but when you isolate the most of the black guys away from these females. They seem to have sense. They seem to have rationality. You can talk to them. But the females, there is something completely wrong with them. And any society, and it's not their fault. I'm not sitting here telling you guys that this is their fault. They learned it from someone. It's passed on. Why are they the way they are? Because I have watched, literally know some black people who I've known them since they were kids. You know, grew up cool kid, but today I see them totally ghetto. I was like, what is going on? Like, is it TV? Is this like a inner thing that eventually comes out? Like, what's going on here? Like, it doesn't match. It does not match. So we're going to get in the bottom of that. For example, here's another situation, and I have seen things like this happen in real life. In real life. Talk about having a complete, lack of awareness. It's kind of like like some African, like in Gambia and some African countries, people would tell you they have like this juju that makes them, like disappear. Okay. So over here, the blacks, some of these women, they act like they have juju in these stores. Let me show you an example that I'm talking about. And by the way, some of the Africans that pretend they think they have juju, they always get caught too. So let's see here. Let me show you how, black fatigue comes about. Why society is tired of these behaviors. Let me show you another one.
Ladies, go out the store. Then when you keep going, go ahead, go out the store. Go out the store. Go out the store.
Smile. Smile. They laughing. It's crazy.
Did you guys see that? You guys see that? Stealing in broad daylight. You touch them, they say, oh, it's because I'm black. They use that as a weapon. I didn't do nothing. That's what they would say. I mean, like, at least if you're gonna, like, they, no shame whatsoever. You saw it, stealing right in front of everyone, the employees plus the cameras. You saw the other one just smiling. So that's that right there. That's some of the examples. Let's listen to what this young man is saying here.
Tired of dealing with niggas and nigga shit. Black fatigue is a collective tiredness that everyone in the country, especially in the United States, has for black people. People are tired of the ghetto-ness, the ratchetness, the loud behavior, the fighting, the arguing. They're tired of all that shit from black people. They're tired of black people using the race card to escape any kind of criticism or any kind of trouble at all. They're tired of the excuse from black people for why they can't do something is because, well, I'm black, and because of slavery, and because of racism, and because of a bunch of bullshit that does not fucking affect them in reality. So what's the solution? Well, the solution is for black people to acknowledge that they have a problem. Our culture is a problem. The way that we handle ourselves and handle issues is a problem. Black people need to stop acting as if there is nothing wrong with us, that we are perfect and nothing can be done wrong by black people. We need to stop putting our faith and value in entertainers. They give us a poor representation, a poor image. We need to redefine the objectives and roles of both men and women within the black community. We need to put more value in education, not sports and not rapping, not fucking dope dealing and doing bullshit. Our entire collective consciousness and our focus needs to change if we want to do better.
So you've seen and heard that. That's the black fatigue that, you know, it's not only white people, because you see, white people, they just wash their hands of the blacks, and they're like, because if white people say anything, they would be considered racist. You see how those women were acting like urban chimps at that graduation. If white people say anything, they would call them racist. You've seen those uh, women stealing from the store. If they were stopped, they would cry racism. You see? So now let's go to someone who have the intellect to give us a background and thinking and understanding of why blacks act the way they act here in America. Okay, so I'll bring you Zanu and we'll hear him talk with a young man. Here we go. And I see that, have you guys noticed a lot of the ghetto blacks, they ran away. They are very, like when it comes to holding them accountable and telling them truth, they run like, it's like a plague. It's like a plague. They are afraid of hearing the truth. They don't want to change whatsoever. So, but we would talk about it regardless. This is fair use, and this is from Zanu Project. So let's hear him have conversation with a young man, and I would break it down as we go. But I want you guys to listen to it as well.
Hello everyone, and welcome to ZPR, Zanu Project Rethink. My name is Frank Zanu. I'm in the studio with a wonderful, wonderful gentleman. Became
Iraq, what comment? I didn't see your comment. I haven't deleted any comment. So I'm not sure what you're talking about.
one of my followers, wrote to me and said, I want to talk. I have a great deal of things I want to talk about because I'm concerned and I want to do good for my society. I said, sure. 2 months ago, we met for lunch. I drove all the way to New Haven and met with this gentleman, and it was like unbelievable. And then he said, I'm coming to the studio so we can talk about the things that are on his mind. And today I have in the studio with me Jaden Gardner, right?
Yes, yes.
Jaden, you went to Southern Connecticut State University.
Yes.
And I look up, you play football.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
it still
did, I
shows,
did.
man. You're really busted. You make me look like an old pal.
Nah,
Yeah,
thank
man.
you.
Welcome to the studio. Thank you very much. 2 months ago, we met. We went for lunch in New Haven, and I came home. My mind was blown. I was like, wow.
So this is a smart young man. As you can see, he is black from here. Obviously, he's been doing self-reflection, unlike someone like Princip, who is already triggered. He is triggered by anyone that is smart. I'm beginning to believe that he's one of those the hood people that people have fatigue about, because anybody that's smart and speaking truth, he is against. So there's a pattern here. So no worries. We know, you think Zanu is a fool. If you think Zanu is a fool, that that means he is definitely onto something here. So he's having this conversation with this young man, as you can see. So let's hear them talk about black fatigue.
Wow, there is hope. There is hope, and we should be bold enough to talk about our problems, because if we don't, then nothing is going to change and nobody's going to do it for us. And then that day, the day after, you sent me a note and you said, Zanu, are you comfortable to discuss these things, because these are the things that I want to talk about? I said, sure. All we are doing is just hearing each other. You ask me the questions. I will share it with you based on what I have seen. And then you tell me how you feel. But what is dynamic here is the same thing I did with Philip, who came from Atlanta on my show. He's also a Gen Z like you, African American. And here you are, a baby boomer, okay, and a Gen Z in the studio talking about current issues that affect our people.
Man, ZANU is doing a great service, just like I'm doing the great service here for the blacks, because who else is out here putting the mirror up for the blacks and showing them love, having conversation with them, challenging them to think? It's not there. ZANU is a baby boomer talking to a Gen Z young man. The people who are supposed to guide this young man are out here on the internet begging for reparation, talking about pimping, promoting victimhood. So, no, this is why it doesn't matter when people, it don't matter what you keep saying. We are here to save the young blacks one at a time, one black at a time. So let us hear their conversation, and this is going to change, the rational mind. People who have rationality, they would be able to take this in and start thinking straight. So let's go.
So please, take it from here.
All right, well, thank you for having me, Frank. I'm Jaden Gardner, like you said. I went to Southern, played football. I attended East Hartford High, and now I work for Yale. I do finance. I'm in their treasury department, and yeah, I'm glad to be here. It's an honor, man. Thank you.
Thank you very much. All right, so fire off. What is the first thing that really is on your mind that you want to talk about?
So I like this new trend of black fatigue that's been going around. I like it because I can see that other races are beginning to point out, some of the bad behaviors and mentality of black people. But it's not only other races, it's also black people ourselves. And that's such a great thing because...
So you're hearing this guy, he's young man, he's rational. Nightingale said, Afridamos, is this another family intervention? You got it, Nightingale. That's right. Another intervention. So he's rational and he's correct. It's, other races are seeing it, and, people are tired. They point it out. And it's not only other races, it's other black people. I've seen black people who, it's not that they don't act anything like that bad behavior, ghetto behavior, but they are afraid to tell the truth, to correct it, because these people are wild. They are out of control. They would call you all kinds of names. They would go as far as trying to cause violence. So the young man is correct. It's not only other races, is black people as well are tired of this. So here we go.
The first step to solving this issue is recognizing, it has to be us recognizing that it's a problem. We have to take some accountability for the issues that are going on in our communities. And, just seeing all the videos and seeing people's different perspectives, and I'm relating a lot to them. And, I see some of the bad behaviors in myself as well, but just to see it and just to see people, sharing their grievances, I think it's gonna help. I think it's gonna start to drive the conversation, really drive the culture forward.
Yeah, I saw on TikTok, and I was wondering, what does the word mean? Mm-hmm. And first I thought that black people were saying that they black people are fatigued. And I said, and then I saw somebody, one of your popular TikTokers, explain it. He was very angry with a certain behavior of a certain lady in a supermarket. And he said, you see, this is it, the black fatigue. And then I began to understand what people were talking about. And yes, you're right. It's like every day we wake up, it's getting more and more. The accent on just our unacceptable behavior is just growing and growing. And so let me rather ask you, this is not new. It's because we have social media now that it's highlighting this bad behaviors we see, that it is so difficult. It is so very difficult for two black people, for one to try to correct the other or call the other out with good intention, whether it's in the
He's hitting it. The only way two black people get along, you know, is they have to talk about ratchet stuff and degeneracy. But, you know, to correct the other person, it turns into, you know, into a fight. You see it here every day on the internet. And I bet you, even if I open this line, you will see it. I mean, even in the chat, you see some of them, they are already triggered. Just for the simple fact of, you know, bringing some sanity and an order. You cannot correct, you know, these bad behaviors in most of these blacks. So Zanu is correct.
public place, in a shopping mall, it's just difficult. It's difficult, even more, for a white person, Asian person, or somebody who's not black, to even want to, even if it's out of good intentions. To the point that if a black baby is choking, you're afraid to tap the mother on the shoulder to say, hey, your baby is choking, because you don't know if the first thing she's going to do is throw a punch first before she hears that your baby is choking. Really, it's troublesome, because if this was just some few individuals in a pocket somewhere, you wouldn't be here talking about it. It's becoming really something everybody is talking about. So where do you think this is coming from? Why?
Well, it's years of bad teachings. I think it ultimately comes down to the Democratic Party. Well, I'm not going to say that, but liberal ideology, which started with the Democratic Party. And it's just years and years of being told that we are victims, that we were wronged, and that we are owed something, and that we don't need to take accountability for the things that we do or the things that we can control. Yeah.
Years of bad teaching.
Yes.
Even though we call it bad teaching, I believe that these individual African Americans who put these organizations together, they in their hearts thought they have all the good intention, that if they speak that way, somebody would then do something. What it does, according to you, is that it then takes the agency away from the people. And so no accountability. I'm never wrong because I have been wronged. Once I have been wronged, I can never be wrong, is what is happening now. And since I have been informed through our teachings that it is all others who are wrong and they wrong me, then I don't have anything at all for me to do. And so
That's right. This is the mentality of most blacks. You know, this is why they would constantly, the moment you start correcting them, they will bring slavery up. You're like, wait a minute, have you, I mean, like, what's this have to do with slavery? Were you enslaved? You know, it's like, so you are saying you're justifying your bad behavior by saying your ancestors were enslaved. Your ancestor, not you. You see, they talk about slavery and, you know, feel entitled. And it's something that people just hide behind. The race card itself, you know, it's like they, you know, a lot of these blacks, they want to weaponize it. It's just a weapon that is used. If someone gets caught stealing, they cry racism. You know, if somebody, you know, commit violent crime, they sentence them, they cry racism. You know, they get caught selling dope, racism. They underperform at jobs, you call it out, racism. So you know, it's right, you know. And if other black people call the behavior out, they are coons, Uncle Toms, Uncle Rockers, you know, all kinds of names. So he's correct.
So this has now perpetuated into this problem we are having, which you said, liberal ideologies. I don't know where it has been there. The liberal ideologies have been there in the 60s, in the 70s. But it wasn't as bad as it popped up after 2008. I mean, I think it was the entry of Obama that things just switched. The reason was simple. People thought that if they had somebody like him in office, that things would just automatically disappear.
Guys, pay attention to what he's saying here. He's correct. Before Obama, blacks were not this terrible. I'm telling you. I mean, I remember when, like, even like some black people, you want to, you bring up this race color thing, like they are not even comfortable talking about that. But now everybody, after Obama, all they talk about is racism and became victims. So let's take it from Zanu. Let him explain how things changed.
This was the hope when you see people crying in the streets and pumping their chests because of him, as if the Messiah had come. In fact, the New York Times called him the one, except they didn't add the word Messiah. So it made black people took a backseat, thinking that they will live vicariously through him, that things will change, white will change their behaviors. Because we've always thought that if the white man can change his behavior, I'll be all right. There's nothing I should do. So that was the beginning of it. And then Mike Brown, remember Ferguson, Missouri's Ferguson, Mike Brown was shot, and then everything just went out of. So it was under Obama that Mike Brown was shot, and BLM was founded under the first black, quote, black president. And I have looked around and asked myself, if you think of the Action Network, Al Sharpton, what is his mission statement? What is he teaching black people? If you look at the Rainbow Coalition by Jesse Jackson, what is the mission statement? What is it teaching people? When you look at the platforms like, Tariq, the one who wrote Black Foundation, I don't know, Foundational Black Americans, to be honest, the grammar itself is so bad, there is no such grammar, Foundational Black Americans. It doesn't.
So I'm glad Zanu touched that. So you have Obama, a race hustler, clearly, imagine Obama was the president. He, if it was about justice and he believed that what was done to Mike Brown was wrong, he would have done something about it. Oh, even Trayvon Martin. But Obama used words to stoke, this racism. And obviously, if you look at it, now, hindsight 2020, you can see he used black people and dumped them. That's the fact. So he's correct. Like when they say FBA, we are foundational, he's right. There's nothing foundational about blacks here, and he's about to break that down. Vanta, thank you for the super chat. He said, worst US president in my lifetime is Obama. You are 100% correct. Obama used, black people and just dump them. Yeah. Because Obama, he's a mulatto, half and half. And he's not, original black American. His father is Kenyan. His mother is a white woman. He was raised by his, mom, his mom's side. So he socialized as a white person. So he's a white liberal that took advantage of the blacks. Look at it in the election in Virginia. Remember, Obama brought, during the presidential, he came and started scolding those young black men. If you guys remember this, telling them that they gotta vote for Kamala because she's one of them. They grew up alike, using race. And we all know Kamala is not black. That's a fact. She is not black. She's Indian. So, but now he goes to Virginia, a white woman. I'm talking white as snow, white buttermilk white as snow, versus Winsome, who's a Jamaican, real black, no confusion. But guess who Obama is supporting? He supported the white woman. What does that tell you? So the same person that was telling you that it's about race, but then he changes it. So that's crazy. Hey, Nana, welcome in the house. Thank you for the super chat. Thank you, Nana. All right, let's continue here.
Makes sense. But look at what he's telling people, and just so many of them. Everything they write and teach doesn't make us say we must. Yes, something bad did happen. Slavery can never be excused in any shape or form. However, it affected almost every corner of the world. The only place where you see it is where the color is distinctively different. Otherwise, Europe, all of them, Africa, every other tribe was once a slave to another one. In Asia, but for them locally, assimilation happened because the skin color was the same.
So you're hearing this, right? So people that say, oh, slavery only happened here in America. No, no, no. Slavery happened all around the world, even in Africa, Europe, everywhere. And, you know, some places there's still slavery going on. But he's about to explain why it's different here.
The only place, the youngest one, is America, where the skin color of former slaves is so distinct that when they wake up every day, they think something is wrong. And your question is, how do we tackle this problem?
Yes, because now everybody can see and tell what the issues are. You know, we can all articulate it, but now we need to be more, I think, solution focused. And I think the obvious one for me is getting fathers back in the home.
How are you going to do that?
Right. Because you can't force them. I would say you have to stop. One of the things you can do is to stop subsidizing the lives of single mothers, because it's an incentive. You know, if you're a single mother and you're in a difficult relationship, you're in a difficult marriage, but you know that the state will subsidize your housing, your
Marriage? What do you mean marriage? How many weddings have you attended? Young brother, how many? Marriage? No, that doesn't happen. But yeah, I mean, you guys can see clearly the young man here, he definitely cares. He's concerned. He wants to find solutions. He wants answers. See, this is how a rational being acts. It's not, you know, throwing tantrums and, you know, calling yourself different, giving yourself different identities, thinking that's going to change anything. You have to dig deep into yourself, and that's the way to get answers. He wants answers. So let's hear, you know, what Zanu says about what he is trying to find.
food, they'll make the husband pay child support. And so you'll be getting that other paycheck that you would be getting from a significant other from the state. Then that's more of an incentive to just say, hey, I'm not happy, let me just go off on my own. And then, you know, it's just it's bad incentives, you know.
So work is not just to make money. Work is part of what makes one feel healthy mentally. Just leaving your home to go into another place. Okay, that's why work from home, I promise you, it's unhealthy. We started talking about mental health not too long ago, but the explosion of technology, people became isolated more and more. I was dating a woman who went back to Denmark. 5 months.
I see. Yeah. So he's correct. Work is not only about making money. That's not what it's all about. So he's about to tell us the woman he was dating that went back to Denmark. Do you guys think she's a buttermilk skin, blue eye? You know, Denmark, you know, you guys know Denmark is, you know, it snows over there. It snows white over there. So Zanu is a smart man. Let me see this here. Vanta, thank you for the super chat. He said, Afridamo, Zanu's video on black marriage is 10 out of 10. You know, I'll check that out. You know, I saw it on his channel. I'll check it out and review it. I'll check it out for sure. But thank you for the super chat. So let's hear him give us, his perspective on this.
I spoke to her and she said she has not left my apartment. I said, why? Everything, she has all the apps that can give her everything in this world. Now that is not healthy. So the question is, if work is this relationship we form with our community by going to a place where you can meet people like you, even the dressing in the morning alone changes how you feel about yourself. Anyone who sees you on the streets, they can tell who you are. It affects your emotional intelligence. It affects when colleagues rely on you and say, hey, man, can you get me this? Can you help me with this? When you come home, you feel fulfilled. So work is not for money and buy good. And human beings have done that for a long time. So why do you think it became so easy for the black woman to just collect money and sit at home and watch a big screen TV all day smoking Newport or sharpening her nails in the Korean store while she's cursing all the Koreans for a little mistake? Why do you think, what is it that made it very easy for the large majority of the people you're saying, stop incentivizing these people? Why did it become so easy?
That's a good answer. Why was it easy for these black women to sit home all day watching, what is it called? Basketball Wives, Real Housewives of Atlanta, while smoking, Black and Miles, Newport, and weed. You see? So why was it easy? And Oprah, yeah, you know it, Oprah, and what's the other show that they are into? Wendy Williams, yeah. So why was it so easy? And it used to be Maury. I mean, hey, look, I'm not gonna lie. I used to watch Maury. I watch Maury. I watch Jerry Springer, Jojo Brown. Like, man, I'll like sometimes I'll just come, drop my bag and yeah. I mean, those shows can be addicting, but you gotta go to work, man. I mean, like, I love Maury. Like you would see they're like Maury, and then they bring, hey, Tyrone. So if little Quamante over here, that's your child. She said you were denying him. Maury, she been denying my baby. Look at that baby. Look, and they would put the baby on the screen. Look at his forehead. Look at his forehead. Look at his hairline. Maury, please bring the tape. Let's measure his hairline. And Kwamant, Tyrone will be like, nah, man, Maury, man, look at me, man, my hairline. So this hairline thing has been going way back to Maury. It's like, nah, man, look at my hairline. That ain't my baby, man. And then finally, Maury would talk to him. He would be calm, and Maury would be like, all right, Tyrone, if this baby is yours, would you take care of it? Yeah, Maury. You see, Maury, I love this baby. I love taking care of babies. And even if the baby ain't mine, I'm going to take care of this baby. Taquisha over here, she been, acting out. But, if even it's not my baby, I'm going to take care of the baby. And then the sound goes up there like, well, we got the results. Maury will be like, they bring the envelope. When it comes to little Ray, Tyrone, you are not the father. The same Tyrone, he would start doing gymnastics on on stage. Wait a minute. Wasn't this the same Tyrone that was saying if the baby wasn't his, and he would start calling, Taquisha all kind of B words? Man, you better get out of here. And some of them even, underneath the shirt, they've already printed something that said, yeah, you are not the father. So usually it would be like 3 of them, and then they're like, Tyrone, you are not the father. He starts doing gymnastics and just talking all kind of shit, and then they're like, okay, Tyrone, Tyrone, get out of the stage. Get Tyrone off the stage. And then they're like, okay, now Big Ray, let's do your test. And Big Ray is sitting there. They're like, when it comes to little Ray, Big Ray, you are the father. It's like, oh man, man, you know. So yeah, so you can see how that show would literally make you miss work. Okay, like you would literally call in sick because it comes in the middle of the day. So it's like, you know, it's easy to get addicted to that. And then, you know, it's like a sequence of, I think Maury comes, then Jerry Springer comes, you know, in that order. But you know, you guys get the point. Let's continue.
You're saying, why did it become so easy for them to not want to work?
That's correct.
Well, this may go back to liberalism and just the idea of being taken care of rather than wanting to go out and do for self.
Yeah, but there is something we call propensity. The propensity to not want to work with people has to be there before the liberals can use it. If it's not there, you can't convince Japanese to, hey, stay at home, I'll give you money. Because for them, their worldview, work is not for money. That's why they will work. You can't convince the Chinese, I'll give you incentives and let your husband pay or ex-husband pay child support, stay at home. They won't. It just won't fit with them. You see, I like to dig into things because I believe in root cause. Because without it, you're not going to solve any problem. So like you said, how do we get the men back into the home? First of all, what made them leave the home? Oh, there are many theories out there. The government intentionally incentivized the women because they want to destroy the black population. So their husbands, fine. I don't concern myself with what happened. I concern myself with, but why did it work? Do you see what I'm trying to say?
Yeah.
Because the propensity has to be there first. Like they used to say in the 60s that the FBI and the CIA colluded and they poured drugs in the black neighborhoods, right? Fine.
But they didn't force us to.
That's correct.
Do them.
So do not concern yourself with what they poured into your neighborhood. Ask yourself if you want to solve the problem and be vigilant for the future. Why did it work? Why did I take it?
That's true. I mean, they put the drugs there, but they didn't force you to take it. This is true. Or sell it.
You will be powerful. That's what I do to myself. I'm never concerned. For example, if I was on the streets and you said something to me and I got so angry and I threw stones, my excuse is, he said this to me. The first thing I'll start is, how did I lose it? Otherwise, you can control me every day. So that becomes my consumption. Like, why did I lose it? What happened? Next time, I promise you, like I have said for the last 15 years, I dare anyone to come and try to make me angry. You won't succeed. I have refused because I have come to go inside myself to know the propensity has to be there before the stimulant is introduced. So why was it easy for such large majority of black women to say, yeah, I will sit at home? What do you think?
I don't have a good answer. I'll be honest. I'm not sure. You know,
If we don't examine that part, we can't get them out of the homes. We can't get the men back into the homes. That part is very important. You can put any, look, I live in Bridgeport. It's a minority, low income. So I've seen, you name any program that is trying to help this population to get out. I've seen it all. When I had my youth program for the black kids, there was a kid who joined my program at the age of 15. She eventually went to Africa with me. Do you know who she was living with? Her grandmother, in a Section 8 home. 2 generations. What problem do they have so bad that it can't go away in 10 years? You understand what I'm saying?
So those of you that want to, talk smack, you see, ZANU has been helping blacks. He continues to, he has youth programs and everything. You see that? Vante, thank you for the super chat again. He said, actually said, oh, I already read that. Thank you. So he got youth programs and all of that. So he's trying to help. So here we go.
In England, when I was there briefly, it was called P64. You lose your job, they will give it to you, right? But they look at it and say, Europe, white people collect it. But they will say, no, man, in 6 weeks, 8 weeks, I want to go back to work. So we have to first begin the discussion. And I don't like these conspiracies. Oh, the government did it so that the women would stay at home and kick their men out. Well, the question is, why did it work? The propensity was there. Something was causing it.
I think what we need is a value system that says family is the most important thing.
Yeah, but saying something as words, who is going to preach it? Al Sharpton?
No.
Okay. T.D. Jakes?
No.
His own family is broken down. The daughter got knocked up at the age of 13. He said it was God's will. Oh, yeah? But he was preaching every Sunday that being knocked up at 13 was bad.
Yeah, I mean, TD Jakes cannot preach it. Al Sharpton is busy race hustling. None of Tariq is not gonna preach it. So who's gonna preach it? TD Jakes is also, implicated in the Diddy baby oil parties. How can he preach this? So yeah, he's got a point.
So who is going to, you see, when we say who will bail the cat, which black man will rely on you to tell him what is right? That's the problem. My previous episode with Philip from Atlanta, we were trying to dive into black culture, right? And I was pushing him in the direction to understand that it is difficult when you pick different people from different tribes and then put them in one community. They have to be aware of that, oh, this is what destroys everything. So if you put Italians, Portuguese, Spanish, English, German, French, let's say China came and pick them by force as slaves and then take them somewhere, put them all together, what do you have there? You just have skin color, white. But there's nothing common between it.
Have I not been saying that? I said when blacks became free, they should have separated, people go their way, because it's different tribes from different regions who were brought together. The only thing they have in common is skin color. So it's not just face value, like, skin color, DNA is deeper than skin color. This is different groups of African tribes brought together. So what is going to be their value system? But then, no, you get, they push for the skin color. So what is the ideology? This is why you see blacks have all kinds of different ideologies, that doesn't match. And when they come to us, Africans, they start getting mad at us. Oh man, you don't act black. No. It's not about skin color. We are not, we understand that it's different ethnic groups. People have different value systems. It doesn't mean we don't work together. We do. But, if the value, like whose value would they go by? Whose value would they go by? So he's got a point. So it's like bringing Spanish, Italians, Germans, and putting them together. This is what blacks are here in America, and trying to force it as one unified culture. It's not gonna work.
Among them, a Frenchman is not an Englishman, but the skin color will make them think that they are the same, where internally they are struggling how to get along. This is what happened to Africa right now on the continent. This is what happened to black people. So the question becomes, who is going to spell out what is the best culture for the family? Who? See, in the 60s, or maybe you had Malcolm X become a Muslim, a black man from Africa. He's looking for something to hang on. Martin Luther, a Baptist preacher. Al Benafi, a preacher. Andrew Young, who became the mayor of the governor of Atlanta, or the mayor of Atlanta, a different person. Stokely Carmichael from Antigua. Everyone has a different philosophy. And then,
wow, so Stokely Carmichael is a tether. So Stokely Carmichael was a tether, huh? So, but he's got a point there. So this is why you notice, like, it's like all these different groups. He's right. Which one would they go with? Which, who's who? So that's very confusing.
came Marcus Garvey, arrived in Brooklyn. And then you have Booker T. Washington preaching a totally different philosophy. You have W.E.B. Du Bois preaching a very total. These are the same people with the same skin color. So the question becomes, which of these people do black people listen to? That's the problem. Right. Do you know the name of the president of Singapore? Lee Kuan, right? Okay. So they refer to him as the founding father of Singapore. The Koreans, South Koreans, by their history, they have the founding father. His statue is in the middle of Seoul, the capital of Korea. He's the founding father of Koreans. Who is the founding father of America?
George Washington.
That's correct, with his group of maybe 13.
Yes.
Okay. They are of a single homogeneous lineage, isn't it? They were English people. They spoke English.
This is correct. So all these countries, countries, they have the founding father of the nation. Here in America, the founding fathers, they are Englishmen. George Washington, he's English. What's his name? Thomas Jefferson. All the people they call the founding fathers, it's not like they are mixed, like Saint German, this and that. They are all English. They are all of English descent. English. So they are the founding fathers of this nation. They created the laws based on their values. And because the Africans who were here were slaves. They were just slaves here. The system was not created for them. That's just a fact. Vanta, thank you for the super chat. Vanta said, I pray we don't have Maori shows in Africa, sir. LOL. Yeah. It said, Africa has 54 nations, but we know DNA is not skin color. That is correct. That is correct. So he's asking a good question. So America, white America's founding fathers is, George Washington and all those people. So now let's find out who the black founding father is in America.
English, they thought in English, and they were Protestants. You see the homogeneity?
Yes.
And they call them founding fathers of this country, right? And if you deep dig and you say, who is the founding father of the Cherokee tribe? They might, I think there's somebody who say, who's the founding father of modern day India? The Gandhis. Who's the founding father of African American society?
Well, if we're African Americans, then we would just be kind of just lumped in with George Washington and the other founding fathers of America.
That's correct.
But the problem is,
see that? So the blacks, their founding fathers are white people, because white people found them. I know you guys are not, but they're fighting to go against their own founding fathers. The white man. Because white man is their zaddy, but they want to deny that. You see, I'm glad this young man is smart enough to know that. So the founding father of the blacks is white zaddy.
they weren't writing a value system that was applying to us. It was for the people that they were associated with.
That's correct. Yeah. So they're not your founding fathers.
Correct.
The Indians were indentured into the United States to build railway lines and had, they still remain here. Why don't they have this problem? Because they had a language. Even when they were in captivity, they still have their worldview. And so it guided them to even survive in captivity. And then when it was over, they are still in America doing very well, isn't it? In Japan, there are about almost 1.7 million Koreans who were taken by Japanese. When they colonized them, comfort women as slaves. They still live in Japan. But you know what they did? They segregated themselves into one area. Aichi Prefecture is the most known for Koreans who live in Japan. They make their children go to Korean school, primary school, high school, and then university you can go to anywhere. They don't vote. They don't participate in elections. But I tell you, Koreans are they are the most dandy dressed in Japan, because Japanese are more subdued in terms of flamboyancy. They are Buddhists.
So, yeah, most of you probably didn't know that, like, the Japanese enslaved Koreans, they did. But the slaves they brought there, they segregated themselves. The British, they brought the Indians to East Africa, Kenya, South Africa, Uganda, but you see, they maintain their own culture. They segregated themselves. So now let's go to if the blacks were able to do that.
Koreans are flamboyant. They drive the best cars and they own the hotels and the hotel. They are economically sound in Japan. They don't ask for handouts. Yes. And when you go to Aichi, they can tell you who was the first one who started the movement for them to become. So even when they were in slavery or whatever, under Japanese, they still have a worldview that because they were Koreans, a homogeneous group of people with a language, mother tongue. I'm trying to help us trace where this problem is coming from. And African Americans would have to begin this conversation. But the question is, who will bail the cat as a problem? So, those who are like you and don't create a fatigue, and those who are creating a fatigue, which one is Majority. The bad behavior, the bad players.
I would say it's almost maybe 50-50.
50-50.
I don't think, you know, decent, civilized black people get the credit that they deserve. The people that are causing an issue are, I believe, a vocal minority. You know.
That's correct. I was saying in the previous episode how in just 10 years, over 6 African Americans, they go to foreign countries and they get jailed. One was running up and down in Pakistan screaming and cursing everybody, but the Pakistanis came together and helped this lady, African American woman.
That's true. That was, yeah, that, you know, crazy black lady that went to Pakistan, and, you know, I guess she was like 40, and when I guess she met some young Pakistani online on a dating site. So when she got there, they realized, I guess she catfished the boy, and she went all the way to Pakistan, and she wouldn't leave. You know, so the teenager and his mom, they had to flee that, you know, the town, and the black lady, she wouldn't leave. She was cussing the, you know, the Pakistani people out, but they understood, they were nice, they helped her out. It's all online, they helped her out. So yeah.
Today in Ghana, when you go on YouTube, beginning 2019, when Ghana declared a year of return, many African Americans have moved to Ghana. I go on YouTube and I follow. My sisters call me and they are saying, what is going on? They can't get along with us. So you think it's just here? No. So I am really concerned.
So I did the show on Ghana. You guys saw that. So Zanu also, he's been following it. He said he's getting, even his sisters in Ghana, they're telling him, I mean, what's wrong with them? Like, we can't get along with these people. Like, what's going on with them? So here we go.
And I'm interested because all my mentees in my city are all African Americans. The ones I took to Africa when I was running the Heroes programs were African American students. They still make me have hope. Now here you are sitting here. There is hope. However, this is what is going to happen. You and the likes of you are the future. If you want to concern yourself and say, let's go and try to put fathers in their homes and get mothers out, no, it's not going to work. They're not going to listen to you. You think that it's only in African Americans where there is no father at home? Go throughout the West African countries today as we speak. Social media and the exposure to the world and putting so many tribes into one country. There is no central system holding the people together. Men are using women like they're using napkins in Ghana, Nigeria, making Davido, the musician, yes, boldly declaring it on television how many baby mamas he has. Okay? So, it is only the bad part of the African Americans is pouring into the continent, into the slums, and they are copying it. So you said something from the beginning, let's go to that. Yes, if you declare in public, don't even say I'm Republican. I don't have to be a Republican not to vote Democrat. Yes. Oh, you're a bad man among black.
So the link is in the chat. If you guys want to join the conversation, hit the link and come join the conversation. The link is in the chat. So yeah, he's right. You know, apparently, I mean, when I was growing up in West Africa, I mean, literally there's, I mean, I don't know of any baby mama situation. I mean, I think it was like a shame for someone to get knocked up, you know, but he's got a good point. Like, you know, I see, you know, single motherhood in amongst other groups, but somehow, you know, it doesn't affect them. And even prior to this time, right, you know, even in the past, let's say in the 60s, 70s, I'm sure there were people, even in the black community, who were raised by single mothers and they were fine. But how come now it's a problem? So it's not only because they have a single mother. It you know, it has to be bigger than that. Has to be. And oh, here I got Vanta in the house. Vanta, I see you back there. Just hang tight. Let me play this just a minute, and then I'll bring you up.
People. Yes. for the things you just said. Do not incentivize laziness, and the problem will go away. I am with you 100%. Trump introduced it recently, and you saw that Al Sharpton began to lead it. So that is the beginning. That is the beginning. You have to put pressure on the government, first and foremost, to take away these incentives.
Right.
You have only 2 years, and you got to go out. Yes, I think it will change the African American society than anybody have seen.
And I think what you said about just, us not having a culture that tells us that family is the most important thing, that also plays a role. But I do believe changing policy will help. It will make some sort of a difference. There'll still always be those problems. And, other races have this problem as well. But I do believe just changing the policy so it's not as easy.
That's correct. So you want people, yeah, and I believe the Democrats, or the liberals, let's call them that way, I believe they have a good intention. They really think that people are poor and helpless. That, wow, if you don't give them these handouts, you are going to destroy them. They really believe it, which is the dangerous part of it. I wish they're just doing it for votes. They're not. Oh, I know plenty of them. They're my friends. And the ones I really see, and I can see from their eyes when they're talking, are the white liberals, especially the women. You can see it in their eye that they're really concerned. Oh, they break down in tears. That they believe that the black man is helpless and that the government should help them. They believe it, which is the dangerous part of the whole thing. I wish it's just for vote. Then I'll say it can go away. So we have to find a way. Somebody like you should have a lot of liberal friends and see how you can have conversations and say, look, it's not helping us. Would you allow your daughter to remain on government handouts until she's 62 years old? She would say no. Then why don't you just discourage it? Yesterday, the mayor of Chicago is making this stupid argument on television.
He's correct. He is 100% correct on that.
That instead of sending National Guard to curtail violence, that the government should rather come and create opportunities. You see, he believes it. He does. I've seen many people in my city believe. If only we can create jobs, housing, even buy them cars if possible. And make sure you get some bling in there because they like bling. Then the money will make them not commit suicide. Do you know the young rapper who was gunned down in Chicago? Have you seen the money he used to pack in his hands when he's walking around?
Yeah.
Have you seen the chain he boasted was $250,000? Have you seen the hood he said he bought for almost, $5,000? Who says that poor people are the ones killing themselves? Poverty never allows anyone to kill the other.
Yeah, I've always said that.
Yeah, because if you look at it like that, the poorest people live in the Appalachian. These are, white areas. How come, their poverty, I wouldn't say poverty, but being poor doesn't cause crimes amongst them. And majority of black people, they talk about being poor, but are they really poor? Truly, like most black people you see, are they poor? I wouldn't say they are, because they can afford pretty much everything they want. So, if you say poverty, like you look at all those rappers that are getting killed, oh, they kill people. They're not poor. A lot of those people are multimillionaires, by the way. So the guy he's just describing, he's not poor. The guy bought hoodies for $5,000. His chain alone, $250,000. So it's not about being poor.
Poverty doesn't always necessarily lead to criminality.
No, it doesn't at all. It might lead you to steal bread to feed yourself. Yes, I've seen that. I have done that in my life. I was raised poor and hungry. But if that were the case, then half of India has almost 35 to 40% slums. Poor people in India, 1.something billion human beings. They don't stab each other in the streets.
Yeah, people like to say that about African Americans, but then I say there are other poor races within this country.
Within this country,
don't have half the violence that we have.
Yeah, that's true. Like blacks are not the poorest group here in America. I've seen some really like poor white people or Hispanic and other groups. But yeah. blacks are not the poorest.
Have in our
The
communities.
trailer park dwellers are poor, socially and economically, right? That's why they segregated themselves. And they pick a lifestyle they can afford. They don't want to compete. So they said, look, a trailer park, freedom, I can manipulate it, it's a small thing. That is intelligence. Why are they not kidding? The Southeast Asians who live in America, they're not rich. They don't kill each other. So it's not true at all. It's just an innate violence. You said, when you tell somebody over and again that somebody else is guilty for what you are, you've taken the whole agency away from the person. And nothing weakens a man who looks outside himself to blame things for what he should.
No, the young man is Black American. Black American. Not like Tariq's silly group, FBA.
Be accountable for. And I think we should start the conversation. Like, if they begin to see people like you, I believe I just received a note from a 20-year-old in South Africa telling me that since he started watching my video, he has changed a lot. When they start seeing people like you, they start seeing people like Philip, all of you Gen Zs, speaking about it, I promise you, it's not going in vain. You are making a difference already.
Yeah, that's all I want to do is try to change the conversation.
You will be frustrated if you keep looking at the fatigue, thinking nothing. But no, look at yourself and then say, wow, things are changing. That's how I look at it. Yes.
Thank you. Thank you, Zana. You guys seen and heard that. So I've got Vanta in the house. Vanta, welcome to the Afridamus Report.
Thank you, Afridamus. Thank you.
So
Thank you very much.
Vanta, what do you think about the conversation here? The black fatigue. I mean, Zanu broke it down. You know, because if you look at it, you know, most people like, okay, it's easy to say, you know, black fatigue, like you point the finger.
Right.
But you see, he did a deep dive, you know, where people are, you know, you're able to think about it, like, you know, because you have to look at the source of it, why, and then he laid out the problems. Because the young Black American, he wants answers. He wants answers. So, what's your take?
Well, the answer, where's the answer? The answer can't come from, you know, white man evil, white supremacy. Like, already that answer is like off the table, Afridamus.
Right.
That answer is like, no. Forget white man, forget white supremacy. The answer is within your own family. Like look down in your community. Talk. Where's your parental, you know, where's your mother, your father? Talk to them about the answer. So Afridamus, you see what I'm saying? Like, if I have issues regarding, you know, as a Somali, I want to know about my history, my lineage, my bloodline. I would either have to talk to my parents or the elder in the community, someone who knows your tribe, your people, your history. Where is that for the Black community, Afridamus? Where is that? Where's the elder? Where is someone you can go to and say, who am I? Where you can say, and you have the elder saying, you are from XYZ, instead of crying and blaming white man stole us from Africa, we need reparations. And now the new story is, African sold us, we need reparations from West Africa. No, the answer is within yourselves. And instead of finding answers, you know what they do, Afridamus? They keep questioning. And now they start to make up their own narrative. Because if they can't find the answer, you start making fiction.
Well, if you look at it, you know, I mean, the elders who's supposed to be the elders, they're in the clubs with the young ones there.
God damn, exactly, Afridamus, exactly. And the whole world is seeing it. That's why the whole world. I think I'll be honest with you, Afridamus. I'm not joking. I'm gonna be dead serious. I think the world just had enough with blacks, mainly Black Americans mainly. We're tired. We're tired of. We used to engage with the culture in the 90s, 80s, 70s, but enough is enough. You guys are confused. You're a mess. Find your own goddamn answers. But the world is tired, and hence black fatigue, Afridamus.
But what do you think about the solutions that ZANU is, putting on the table?
ZANU has no. ZANU's solution is he told him, like, find it yourself. Because I watch a lot of ZANU videos, right, Afridamus? Mm-hmm. And every time, the guest like, so what? Oh, ZANU. Well, so what's the solution? Like, you tell me what's the solution. That's what he says every time. You tell me what's the solution, because he's saying, I found the symptom. I found the diagnosis, but the cure, you have to find the cure for yourselves. You have to find it. It's not on Africans, it's not on Europeans, it's not on the world, it's on Black Americans to find their own solution.
Yeah, I
Cure.
mean, yeah, that's true. I mean, like everybody, it has to begin with you.
Mhm.
But for example, like the young man, the questions that he's asking, right?
Yeah.
He's young and this has been ongoing.
Mhm.
So he's talking to Zanu, you can see he
Which is good,
opened
though.
it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's good.
yeah. So because don't you think most of them are probably confused? They need that type of conversation.
I agree. Yes, that's why I love this channel. By the way, Afrodam, I just found it like 2 weeks ago. Frank
Oh,
Zanu.
okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and I watch a lot of his videos. I think this is a healthy channel, and it brings a healthy awareness and discussion. And Zanu is not pretending to be like a sage or like a fixer.
No.
All he's saying, sit down with me, discuss the issues, and it's down to you as the as the guest, find your own solution. Like he'll say, yeah, X, Y, Z equal, and you have to find the answer for yourself. Yeah, find it.
Exactly.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying, Afrodamus. Yeah.
Yeah. Let's bring in Archer. Archer, welcome to the Afrodamus Report.
Hey, Alfredamus. How's
How
it
you
going,
doing?
man?
It's good. It's
Not
good.
too bad. Not
Archer, what
too
do you
bad,
think
man.
about the conversation? Did you catch Zanu's conversation with the young man?
First thing I want to know is where can you even see Zanu's videos?
It's on
Where,
YouTube. The Zanu Project.
oh, so it's a YouTube channel, essentially?
Yes. So he has
Okay.
conversation about a lot of different topics, even African topics, all of it. So he would challenge people. You have the conversation like we do here.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, Zanu is no different than his information is nothing new, man. I don't know how people don't see like people be thinking stuff is new and it's the same information.
Well, we're not talking about if it's new or old. I mean, we are hearing the conversation about the topic. So
Uh,
what do like?
I mean, I
Let's.
think the same thing I would think of a Thomas Sowell or a Larry Elder or a, you know, Clarence Thomas. It's the same information. It's no
So
different.
so you're gonna veer off. So you're gonna let me guess. You think he's a
Hello?
yeah? You think he's a what?
And no, I'm not gonna call him any name or anything like that. He
I mean, I'm
just
not saying a name because you're saying
right.
he's not.
He
Yeah, like
he
what
just
he just what?
he just has a view of the
So
world.
is this view what he's talking about? Is this true or not?
Okay. Well, I know you don't like
No. It's not. Look, I
uh,
don't go by feelings. It's not about me. I'm just here to present the
right. Yeah,
show
yeah, yeah.
and ask questions. Like, don't worry about. I mean, it's not about what I like or don't like. I'm not going by feelings.
No,
It makes
no.
no difference. We want to hear your point of view about the what has been said. The people are tired of the blacks. Black
Aphrodite,
fatigue is everywhere. So
I don't
now people are having the conversation. People are saying they are tired of it. So this young man is having the conversation with Zanu. I played it. We all heard it. So we want to hear your take on it,
can you hear me?
loud and clear.
No, I'm not saying I'm prefacing my statement not because I care what you think. You see what
Well,
I'm saying? I'm
you're
just
saying
saying
what I like. It's not about what I like or don't like. That's not what it's about.
no, the reason I'm saying that is just because I've had conversations with you, and when the conversations becomes a little bit more nuanced or multivariate, then you try to steer it back to
Well,
some
well, you
simple.
have a
Because
way
what I'm
of
saying is, and the reason
taking
I'm
us
saying
out
that,
of topic like you're trying to do right now.
and the
Instead
reason I'm
of,
saying that,
you see how Vanta went straight to the topic
yeah,
and the
because
point.
you and Vanta agree
No, 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 no.
on point of view.
No, it's not. Again, it's not about me. You are free to express, your viewpoint. But just keep it
Yes,
around
and I'm
the
going to express my
just keep it
views.
around the topic. Don't
I'm going.
personalize it, because if you notice, I didn't come here and say, I, Afridamus, this is what I like or don't like. I'm not. Yeah.
Man, you be having the weirdest conversations, man. Oh, you be listening to yourself, bro. How you gonna say this is what you like and this is what you play a whole video agreeing with this guy?
That's right. I agree with him. Hold on. I
One
agree.
second, Afrodamus, quick
Hold on.
second.
I agree
The
with him.
assumption is Afrodamus. Anybody can tell you that. You don't
I
have to
agree.
come out
So
and say that you agree with him. We all know
do
that.
you have a problem with me agreeing with him?
I have no problem with that.
Okay,
That's
so
fine.
tell us what you think about people who having black fatigue.
I don't think there's any such thing, man. I think you guys just made it up. To be honest with you, it's people like
so you don't think people are tired of blacks?
No, it's people like you and people that have racist ideas that have that fatigue. Nobody else really cares. You see what I'm saying? Everybody else just living their life. But if you have an idea of like some kind of inferiority complex or some kind of a racist idea, you're gonna worry about it. But most people, you meet them out there every day, white, black, whatever. You say hi, you smile, you work together, all that.
So people are not tired. People are not tired of black crimes. Victimhood. Oh, okay.
No, and again, if you are even tired of it, in a way, it's un-American. Because in America, if you read the First Amendment.
Hold on.
Detrimental to an instrumental since your mom's had the first menstrual. Check my credentials penciled in with the pen gem right, and we some titans fighting men when the.
Continue.
Yeah, in America, if you read the First Amendment, it tells you have the right to petition your government, the right to peacefully protest, the freedom of press, freedom of religion. It gives you these rights.
We know that. That's not what the topic is about, though. We know all that, but, can we tackle this here? Can you, for once, disappoint me and go and talk about the topic?
Afrodamus, I am talking about the topic. If you can't understand what your own topic is,
everything you're saying, I'm very aware about American laws, but that's not what it's about.
If you tell me someone has fatigue,
I've played videos here
of another citizen having their right to express themselves in this free country, that means you're telling me something that's un-American. This is a free
so it's
country.
right for
You
people
have
to
the
go to
freedom.
stores and smash and grab and steal.
Bro, you have the right to peaceably assemble. So if you go and smash the store, then you did something illegal.
Stealing.
If you go and stole, that's illegal.
So okay, wait. So you're saying people are not tired of the blacks?
No. Racist people are tired of the blacks. Yes.
So everybody, even the other black people who have black fatigue are racist too.
The majority of black folks don't have that idea. You're always going to find people of any group that have an idea that is wrong. It's natural. You're always going to find it. But then if you find 100 people and 5 of these people have a racist idea, you're the kind of person that we're like, oh, these 5 people got to, and then extrapolate that everybody else agrees with these 5. No, that's just them 5. What about the other 95?
It's only 5. Okay.
Yes, the vast majority of people don't have these ideas.
So all the people who are tired of blacks are the racist ones, including the blacks themselves.
Yes.
Okay.
Exactly.
Thank you. Let's go to Kwame. Okay. Thank you. We heard your point of view.
There you go.
Go ahead. You see, like you could have just said all that, and you don't have to go, meandering like you like the River Nile. But go
Well,
ahead.
I'm glad you're smart enough to figure it out. So that's good.
You know, you're
Hey,
meandering like the River Nile. Go ahead.
hey,
Hey, the
I
River Nile
say,
is great, man.
Afrodamus.
What's that?
I say, I say. I think black fatigue is real, man. I think it's a global issue. You got, Somali pirates. They just fired a rocket grenade off the coast of Somalia and just hijacked a ship. Then you have, the Somali gang culture in Minnesota, also in the UK and Toronto, where they're knifing people down. So I think we are tired of black fatigue. You got people like, General Butt Naked, they eating people hearts, babies' hearts in Liberia. You have the war in Sudan
Your barbecue.
where blacks are just slaughtering each other over Islam. The same thing is going on in the Sahel where
Oh, so
black people.
the people in Sudan, Somalia, they are called Black Americans now.
I mean, when you come, I'm using the
No,
U.S.
you said the
Census
people.
Bureau.
You said in Sudan.
Yes. I'm when I say black, I'm using the U.S.
No,
Census
no, no,
Bureau
no,
defined
no, no, no,
definition
no.
of
Hold on,
black.
hold on, hold on.
Black
They don't.
means
Hold
anybody
on, hold on.
of black origin of Africa.
Hold
So
on. They are
when they
not
say
okay. No, no, no. We're talking about Black American blacks here.
okay, so when Africans come here, they're considered a part of the black race. So they
Um,
are black American.
the people know the difference,
Tell
sir.
him,
What's
Kwame.
the difference?
Tell him.
Are you telling me?
There's a clear difference
Are you
between
telling me the U.S. Census Bureau do not use
sir,
black and
sir,
African
sir,
interchangeably?
He think
sir,
he's special, Kwame. He think he's special.
people in the streets, people that you interact with anywhere, people know the difference.
I
Okay.
don't think so. When they
Oh
say
yes, they
when
do.
they say
Yes,
black
they do.
fatigue, they include Somali gang culture in Minnesota,
No.
and they're
Anyway,
tired of it.
so wait, what do you think about Zanu's conversation with a real Black American? That guy is not Jamaican, he's Black American. In fact, we were looking for you on the Jamaican show and you disappeared. But keep deflecting. Go ahead.
No, I'm not deflecting. I'm saying you said black fatigue
Well,
is a
well,
global
you
issue.
started talking about no, we're talking about the
Did you not
blacks.
say black fatigue is a glal issue? You said that. I didn't
Uh,
say that.
yeah, the blacks. Didn't you hear us say they go to Ghana? They go to the people living there are saying they can get along with them.
Right. So, Afrodamus, are you telling
Is
me
the
white?
Somalis are the Somalis the ones going to Ghana?
No. But
Then why are you focusing
are you
on?
no? Hold on. Are you saying white people are not tired of Somalians in
Well,
Minnesota?
that's not what the topic is.
You said black, so I'm using the U.S. Census Bureau
That's
defined definition of black,
look.
which means
Okay,
anybody of African
okay.
origin.
They're not. That's not what they mean. They are talking about
How you know
Black
that?
Americans, people that are say FBA.
Well,
You know that
I'm using the U.S.
FBA.
Census Bureau defined
Uh,
definition of black, not
uh,
your colloquial definition or what you
okay.
think black is.
So
I'm
you
using what the English
so
language define black as. They use
I
black interchangeably with African.
hold on. Are you guys hearing it right? You guys see everything? The conversation was centered
No. I'm
around.
saying. Let me
He
ask you.
can, he came
What's
and
more
he's
of an
proved.
issue? Afrodamus, are Al
Hold
Shabaab
on.
more
Let
of
me
an
no,
issue
hold on.
or Bloods and Crips?
So, is Al Shabaab here in America?
Yeah, they're in Minnesota.
Okay.
They
So,
are.
you're triggered.
I'm not triggered. I'm not.
Yes,
I'm
you
not.
are.
I'm not an
You
African
are.
American, so I'm not
You
triggered. I'm
you
just
you
saying if we're
that
gonna
you
use
are
black
triggered.
fatigue.
You are triggered. First of all, there are tons and tons of videos. There are people here out here in real life. People they stay away from blacks for a reason.
Right. So
Yeah.
Avedama, you was a correctional officer. Did they
Yes.
ever just separate the Africans from the black Americans, or when they have an
Not
ID
too
card they say
not
black
too
race?
many. Not too many Africans go to prison.
You sure?
You would. Oh, I know. I was an
There's
officer.
plenty
You
of
just,
Africans in jail
sir.
for scamming,
Look, you ask. Hold on. You ask me,
rape.
right? You
Yeah.
ask me, right? I think I would know it better than you do. So I have worked in all custody levels, different prisons. I've done, all custody levels. I can assure you, okay, that to see Africans there, that's very, very rare. Very rare.
Hey, I
Okay.
can say you this though. I know Africans that have been to prison
Yeah,
in
I mean, I'm
America.
not saying okay, I'm not saying, you know, it's never, but I can tell you for sure,
And
you
of the
know,
43,000
After
million
time,
blacks in
I got
for
black
America,
fatigue.
sure,
a
I
very
got
for
small
black
percentage
sure.
of those being
Hold on,
African.
hold on. You ask me as the expert. I'm not just talking out of feelings. I'm telling you, you know, something that is real and is, you know, like I have the info. I've worked in the system, so I
But of the
I have the answer. You know, it's all written. We have the population. I interacted with the people.
right.
You
But remember, it's a very small percentage of people.
even the Somali that you're pointing at, very rare for you to see a Somali in prison.
Right. I mean,
Of
that's
Very
your,
course.
and
rare.
I respect your anecdotal experience. I'm just
No, no,
saying,
no.
I have,
Well, you asked me, right?
yeah,
I've
yeah. I
worked.
respect, I respect your
Hold on, hold on.
anecdotal.
I've worked in different prisons. So you know, I'm just telling you what the population. I'm not saying, you know, Africans don't go to prison, but you know, very small minority,
Right.
you
But
know,
Afro
go
Diamonds,
to prison.
I'll be honest. I have black fatigue. I'm tired of seeing Africans gun each other down in Africa. I'm
Here we
tired
go.
of seeing Somali pirates
Sir,
hijack
sir,
ships off
sir,
the coast
sir.
of the Red Sea.
Somalis are not black, sir.
I'm
Somalis are not
tired of
black.
seeing Somali and gang
You
culture
just
We're
in
not
said
black.
you just
Minnesota,
said Somali
Toronto,
not black.
and the UK.
We're not black. Somalis
I'm
are not black.
Yeah.
tired.
So Somalis
I'm
are not black, sir.
We're not
well when
black.
they come
Hold
to
on,
the
sir, sir,
West,
sir,
they're
They
sir.
are
considered
not.
black.
The
Well,
Minnesota
you say,
election is going
hold
on.
on,
The
hold
Minnesota
on.
look.
Hold on. Let me finish. You mentioned the coast of Somalia. We're talking about here, but let's
Yeah.
go to
You
Princess.
said black fatigue was a global issue. That's what you said.
Because blacks are taking it there.
Well, salute to the professor. I'm shocked that you supporting a whack job like Professor Zandu, but that's your right. You know what I mean? But I do believe there's a level of fatigue that does exist, but it's like misguided because there's different types of black. Like there's always been the Nation of Islam, the black churches, different forms and different subgroups in the black community that have always called out the negative elements in the black community. And to a certain degree, some of these liberals kind of protect them. That's why they ban Minister Farrakhan from Facebook, but they got Snoop Dogg Crip walking all over the place. So it's a bias that exists where they're somewhat elevating negativity over the positive elements. That's just my point.
So no one is saying Farrakhan doesn't exist. He obviously must not be doing a great job by, you know, steering these blacks in the right direction. They're not listening to him. Not every black. You see, Nation of Islam, they are in the minority. They are in the minority. Would you agree with that?
Yes.
Yeah. So why are you mentioning them? No one is saying. Have you ever seen a Nation of Islam person going into a store, stealing, dancing, doing all
Oh
kind of
no.
Exactly. So why would you lump them in
No,
with these crazies?
Professor, I do security at times, retail, and the majority of people don't steal. It's a subsect. Sometimes you can see it from a mile away that
So
comes in. I
wait.
even seen
Have
a
you
Muslim.
did you listen to, because if you were not busy trying to, you know, hate on Zanu, you would have heard exactly what he was saying. Didn't you hear the man say
No, I'm just talking on the
the
topic.
minority are the loudest? Isn't that
Yeah,
what he said?
absolutely. Some points he
Okay,
says I agree with. I'm just talking on the topic.
So what are you talking about here?
No, I'm just talking on the topic with the Somali guy, the guy who say he's not black. That's all I'm talking to.
I'm here, sir. I'm here.
Yeah, Somalis are not black, sir.
Yeah, we're not black. We're not black.
Well, they're running for election in Minnesota and they're claiming to be black. So what do you say to that?
That's fine, but that's not black. I don't care. That's Somali. It's African.
Oh, so
Somali,
are they tricking us? Are they pulling like one of the Muslim tricks where they lie to win elections?
What you talking?
Takfir. They call it
Yeah,
takfir.
they got a special name. I heard about that. Yeah. Is that one of those tricks you guys are doing?
Can you guys stick with the topic?
The topic is black fatigue, so we're talking about black people. Black people in America. Alpha when you go to the U.S. Census Bureau, they define black as anybody with African origin.
So
That
when they say
includes everybody from
hold on.
Africa to the Caribbean to the Americas.
No, so when they talk about black fatigue, they're talking about Somalis. Is that what you guys going with?
We just watched a Democrat lose Minnesota because he is Somalian.
Huh? Hold on. Let me show you. Let me show you this Somalis. Okay. Let me show you these Somalis here. Yeah. Hold on. Let me show you all this.
Go out the store. Then when you keep coming, go ahead, go out the store.
That's a Somali, Afrodomics. That's Somali.
Go out the store.
I'm being sarcastic.
Go out the store.
I know, me too, Afrodomics, me too.
Smile. Smile.
I mean,
They
is this
laughing?
worse?
It's
Is this
crazy.
worse than a pirate taking over a ship off the coast?
Kwame, don't justify that, man. Don't justify that, Kwame.
Good
That's
question. Now,
that's
it's the
embarrassing.
same
That's
thing. It's
negative,
still
man. Don't
stealing.
justify that. Don't
If
defend
you're a
that.
pirate off the coast of
But
Somalia,
Prince P,
you
what's
stole a boat,
worse,
it's
a
the same
pirate
thing.
hijacking a ship off the coast of the Red
But
Sea,
Afrodon,
or some people petty doing petty larceny? What's worse?
So Somali being in their own country, right? Own country, protecting their coastline.
They in the UK
Hold
knifing people down.
on. Somalis, have you noticed white people are not saying they have Somali fatigue because
Right.
they are on their own coastline. Their own coastline.
Let's pull up.
Hold on.
Let's
Let me
pull up
finish.
some news article from Minnesota.
Wait.
Let's see what the white people are talking about in Minnesota.
Hold on. You guys have come here and prove all the stereotypes, that everyone talked about. What brings the fatigue? You guys are insufferable.
No, I have black fatigue. You said it was
you
local.
guys
I have
are,
black fatigue.
hold on.
I have black
Hold on,
African fatigue too.
guys, are you listening to this? These are grown men, by the way. Are you guys seeing this? So the youths that are below these guys, they have no chance. Do you guys hear this? These guys came here instead of tackling the topic, like with sense. They came here triggered. They think, they want to hold insults at Vanta because he's speaking facts, right? Instead of challenging, if they have a challenge, instead of doing that,
I got black fatigue.
Hold on.
I got black fatigue.
Let me finish. Have you guys noticed this exactly what Zanu was saying? We are seeing it right here in front of us. Right here. Why would anyone in real life, why you guys see why people stay away from them? Are you guys seeing it? Are you guys seeing this?
We're not a case study because we're all from the Caribbean.
No. You guys are a perfect case study.
We're all from the Caribbean. I'm Haitian, he's Jamaican, and this guy's like a fake Caribbean guy.
Where were you
Big
born,
accent.
Mr. Princip? Where were you born again?
I was born in Brooklyn, New York, man.
Born and raised.
Mm-hmm.
I was born in Kingston, Jamaica.
Have you ever been to Haiti even?
Yeah, I've been twice. I grew up in a Haitian American family. Man.
No, I mean, have you ever been to Haiti?
I went twice, man.
Oh, okay. Vanta, which island are you from, Vanta?
I am from the I'm from the island of Somaliland. Somaliland.
No. I meant to ask you which island.
I'm from the island of the United Kingdom. That's an island.
No,
Vanta, shouldn't you be working on your Swahili?
Wait, Somalis don't speak. See,
they're learning Swahili in Somalia, brother. Why are you not working on your Swahili?
Afrodamus. Listen to this man right here. Somali speaking Swahili. What kind of garbage is that?
They're doing that in Somalia, man.
Sir, you're embarrassing yourself. Keep talking. Embarrass yourself. Keep going. Keep going.
I can pull up the article, man. The
So
president of Somalia.
are you guys seeing this? They came to say there's no black fatigue, only to prove everything, to show that in fact there is black fatigue.
Afrodamus,
We all agree that black fatigue exists, man.
Disagreement is not an issue. Because I
no one said it's an issue. Well, I mean, no, it's
because
you
I
just
disagree with Zanu. Every time we try to talk, you cut us off.
Well, we're just proving,
and we never disagreed as black fatigue. You're just trying to define your
he
anecdotal.
wanted to limit it to just African Americans. There's Haitian fatigue. There's Nigerian fatigue. There's Somalian fatigue. Just keep it going. There's Gambian fatigue. In your country, they want Yahya Jammeh back, man. They got Gambian fatigue over there with Barrow over there.
Paul said it right. They are their own best witness. Okay, guys, keep talking.
Yeah. Keep talking. Yeah, go ahead.
So what about Gambian fatigue and the return? That people begging for the return of Yahya Jammeh. Well, what about that one right there?
So that's considered fatigue.
We gotta keep child marriages going on in Minnesota by Somalians.
I ain't going that far.
We see gang culture. We see gang culture where Somalians are shooting down each other in Minnesota. We see it all.
I never heard of Somali fatigue. All I hear black fatigue. What does black mean to you guys?
I got barbecue fatigue, man. You know.
No. Please be honest with me, sir. What is black fatigue? Black, not Somali, not Haitian, not Gambian.
In America, where you don't live at, white people are tired of Somalians. They have destroyed Minnesota.
Hold on. Vanta.
British guy.
Vanta, have you noticed? Vanta, have you noticed? Today Somalis are black.
I'm learning today, sir. I'm learning.
Any other day they are not.
You're right. See, Afrodamus, if we, if Somalis speak good on black people, they're like, yeah, they're black. Yeah, they're black. But if we say, oh, we have black fatigue, they're like, oh, you Somali pirates, you guys are shooting each other. They want us.
Yeah, but we didn't call you. We never said you're not black. We never said
we don't think you're black. So we're not black.
What's worse, Al Shabaab, that's a terrorist organization, or the Bloods and Crips?
There we go.
They're both a problem, man. Why you trying to compare two
Exactly.
Both of them are negative elements that shouldn't be praised or co-signed or defended.
That's a goofy comparison. That's
one thing I can say, man. Let me say this real quick. That where I do agree with Zanu is that people got to stop making excuses for a lot of the, I don't want to curse, but the foolishness, man. Like a lot of people sometimes co-sign or make excuses for what's going on, and this only enables those two women that you see there, the gangbangers, the thugs, the criminals, the barbecues of the world. It only enables them. So the more you try to make this, excuses and defend it, or try to, point out the other issue rather than saying, yeah, they both are part of the issue, you only prolong the issue because, realistically speaking, they both are bringing down the race or the community or however you want to see it. It bringing it down.
Now, I agree with you, Principally. I'm just saying Al Shabaab is more of a global issue that we need to tackle. We don't need pirates off the coast of the Red Sea, disrupting trade. And then they come into UK and Toronto, and they come in with their gang tribal Bronze Age ideologies. We don't need that.
Hold on. Someone requested to see white people talk about it, right? Here we go.
Black fatigue is when I can hear you 10 miles away in Walmart with your 5 kids. Black fatigue is when you have no home training and you have no idea how to act in public. And a lot of it is culture. I've been in the hood. I've been in the schools and the projects where I was the only white girl there, and I can 100% guarantee you that it's culture. When majority of y'all know someone who has been unalived by another black person, way more than any instance of a black person being unjustifiably unalived by the police, that's black fatigue, as well as donating to Carmelo Anthony and Rodney Hinton Jr. When you aren't able to hold your own community accountable, that's a problem. We're not going to sit here and act like this is new now, because now white people are speaking out, especially when we've been told for so long to feel sorry for our whiteness and that we have white tea privilege, whatever the that means, for something no white person alive today did. And no black person alive today has experienced. There is no way that y'all thought that we would be quiet for this long. Having us on our knees, kissing BLM's feet, still begging for the reparations that you are not owed because you did not go through what your ancestors went through. Nobody cared about race until you started blaming white people for all of your current problems. We're just untolerating.
The overwhelming majority of comments said that she had a point about things. Now,
so Nightingale, I guess. I hope that helps.
Afrodamas, can I have a little word if I may?
So
I'm sorry.
you can hear it, okay? So it's not only ZANU and other black people. There's tons of videos. If I want to play those, we would be here all night. And what she said is, I mean, I live here in America.
Afrodamas, you
You
cherry
know,
picking because I can find videos with
there's a
white people.
reason. Hold on, let me finish. There's a reason why I tell people to stay away from those Walmarts. You know, do not, you know, when you're driving, you know, do not stop for gas in any street named Martin Luther King South. Keep going. You know, if you see blacks hanging out at the gas station, keep going. Okay, there's a reason for all that. So, yeah.
Afrodamas, real quick, if I may, real quick.
Go ahead, Vanta.
Yeah. The reason why there's a certain term called black fatigue, because it's not overnight, Afrodamas. It didn't come out overnight.
Oh no, I know.
Yeah, it's been happening for the last 30 years. The world has been, because America is a global empire. America is the #1 exporter of culture. And what culture did they export? It was a negative aspect of black culture. We have been pumped with your disgusting music, your disgusting reality shows, your disgusting fashion, your disgusting mindset, and now everybody's sick of it. Look at Japan and Asia. Look at the young youth, Afrodamas. They look like Asian, you know, like little mumble rappers. It's ugly. It's when I see young Japanese men look like a little young rapper, I'm like, what the? Be proud of your Japanese history or your Korean history, even African. Afrodamas. My little cousin went to Somaliland. He had that, you know, that spider hat, the spider haircut, you know, the tarantula. I call it tarantula. When he went there, his grandfather told him, shave that boy's hair. Shave it. Shave. See, we are tired.
They have little Asian YNs and
yes, I'm not joking, Afrodamas. I see a little with the goofy hair, the outfit, even the way they talk, the way they that goofy talk.
So they're doing this in Japan.
I'm not Afrodamas. Do you think I'm joking? I swear to God.
No, it's just funny.
I swear on my mother's life, I'm not joking. See, that's why the world is, because people are realizing, even in Europe, these young men trying to talk like black and that whole drill music. You know, Afrodamas in London, a lot of the knife crime is inspired by Chicago drill music. It's Chicago music that's inspiring this anger with these young teens. So
yeah, they talk about you know, killing one another in music.
Exactly. So Kwame, I'm sorry, but this is America's black culture that we are focused on. It's not Somali, Al-Shabaab. It's not Gambia or Nigeria or Ghana, blah blah blah. It's African American culture. And with that,
So Vante, are you telling me the people of the UK are not tired of Somalian gang culture right now? Are you really telling me that?
We're talking about America, sir.
Yeah. Please don't deflect. Please don't deflect. Stay on point.
Can I ask him a question real fast?
Go ahead.
Yeah. He was claiming that he wasn't black, but somehow magically his non-black Somali cousin is following black Americans. That's very confusing. And
how is that his Somali cousin? Oh, there you go. Someone said these African speakers would not go on Tariq. Why don't Tariq come here? Tariq mutes people. So, you know, why would we care to go there? We hear Tariq talking to people. He mutes them. At least over here, I allow people to talk. So there's a
America is tired of African Islamic culture. America don't need Sharia law. They're tired of Somalians in UK and Toronto and Minnesota trying to establish Sharia law.
All right. Okay. Hold on. We heard you.
Can I ask him a second question?
Okay, you guys, we heard you. You keep repeating yourself. This topic is not about Somalis. You guys are just deflecting.
Can I ask him a second question?
No, you said black. You said black fatigue.
Come on, Kwame. You come on.
Stop making it focus on Somalians, man. Come on.
Yes.
But can I ask him a second question? My last question, and then you pass the mic. You touched on a good point that you said that America exports a lot of these negative cultures to other blacks and to the world in general, right?
Well,
But
not just
meanwhile,
blacks. Didn't you hear him talk about the
no, I'm saying the world in general. The world in general. So it's in China, it's in India, it's all over the place. But they also ban more constructive speaking blacks, right? They consider them too radical, whatever, like Minister Farrakhan. Do you see that as a that's a serious observation that I always point out. Do you see that as selective?
Look,
I'm sorry, go ahead.
Look, Farrakhan, if he's been preaching for years
against this,
you will not you will not ask any black person, who literally doesn't know who Farrakhan is. Okay, if they really, believe, those who believe in his message and want to follow it, go and seek it. Okay, so let's not even go there. People know exactly how to find Farrakhan. Okay, they know what his message is all about, and yeah.
Afrodamas.
Yes.
I respect one thing. I respect with you. You have people come on and speak and challenge you to some degree, but you steer the conversation in a really elementary way, like you're thinking like a 5-year-old or something. You know what I mean? Like because you're talking about black fatigue. Black fatigue is not. If someone's saying black fatigue, they're not just talking about American blacks.
Oh, which other blacks are they? Which other blacks are they talking about? No, I'm asking. Which other blacks?
1 second, I'll
barbecue.
Get to it. I'll get to it. If you just wait, I'm coming there. But you cut it off.
Are you guys hearing this? Are you guys hearing this? Go ahead.
When they talk about black fatigue, they are not just talking about African Americans. Right?
So white people don't know the difference between an African and a black American. Is that what you're saying?
Brother, they are not just talking about African Americans.
Okay.
And when people now go outside of America and show you examples of black fatigue, quote unquote, which I don't even believe it, because it's just racist, a minority of racist people or people that have no real understanding of humanity talk like that. Even what Zanu was saying, it's ridiculous, a lot of what he's saying. Talking about two people, a British and Italian can't get together. And what is he saying? What is the European Union then? What is the United Nations?
Let's hear the new speakers. Hold on.
1 second, brother. You cut me off.
Well, we heard you. We heard you. You're all over the place except what the topic is.
No, I'm answering questions that you posed earlier, but you want this elementary.
So black immigrants, Africans are going in the stores, stealing, being loud, and so you think immigrants, African immigrants are coming here doing that, and there's no consequences.
Let me give you a quote to prove to you.
No, don't give me a quote. I'm asking you. Do you know what the conditions are around someone who is not from here? Why would somebody who's not from here come here and do what the blacks are doing and get away with it?
Okay.
Why?
In London, right?
No. Let's talk about America. I don't live in London. I've never. Hold on. Look, I don't know London. I know America. Hold on.
1 second.
Acha. You're taking. Hold on. You're taking me to London. I don't know London.
I'm taking you there.
I don't know anything about London.
On our panel right now, there is a guy from over there. He's talking about what's happening over here.
Damn, Afrodamas. I think I triggered your whole panel, Afrodamas.
I'm going to take him to his country.
Okay.
What's happening over there? And he knows what's happening over there.
What's happening in London, sir?
A London march organized by the far-right activist Tony Robinson drew over 100,000 people and became unruly, right? On Saturday, right? Several officers punched, kicked, all that, right? The reason for the march, right, was anti-immigrant, right? Anti-immigrant, right?
Okay.
Elon Musk has a quote about the march saying, there's something beautiful about being British, right? And what I see
Hold
happening
on,
here
hold
is a
on, hold on,
discussion
hold
of
on,
Britain.
Acha, we are
Initially,
crossing. Hold on.
yeah.
Hold on, we can be here all night. Let's bring in the new speakers. We
You
got
see, because you don't want to deal with facts. You want to
hold on,
believe what you want to believe.
hold
All
on,
right, go ahead.
hold
We
on.
can
I
have
would
a
do
conversation.
hold
Go ahead.
on. I would do research about London next time, and I'll make sure I have my black
You
English
just
tea
making stories up, man.
and crumpet. You see, today I'm doing my Moroccan tea. So
You just making stories.
yes,
Can you drop after Dama? Can you drop the link for Ja? Ja
yeah.
asked for the link.
Let's have Bubakar. Hold on.
Tell the Somali guy when they come for his ass over there, like they already. Don't look over here.
Okay, fine. Yeah, one day maybe. I'll wait. I'm chilling for now. I'm chilling. Yeah, I'm chilling.
All right.
Acha, when they come home, we're gonna contact you to help him. Bubakar, welcome to the Afridamus Report.
Yeah, Abdul Damus, how you doing?
We're doing well. Where you calling from, Bubakar?
I'm calling from the Gambia.
From the Gambia. All right, Bubakar, welcome to the show. Bubakar, what do you want to contribute to the show?
I just want to say, like, I've been watching your show for a while now. You have been enlightening me about stuff that I don't even know is happening.
Okay.
So I just want to tell you that just keep it up. Don't listen.
Yeah, thank you. Bubakar, what area are you calling from?
Yeah, I'm calling from Gunjur.
Gunjur. Oh, okay. Awesome. Yeah.
Just keep it up,
Thank you very much, Bubakar. Yeah, I mean, you guys hear that? Even Bubakar is listening all the way from Gambia. He's taking in this information, because people need to be enlightened to learn about what is happening. So thank you, Bubakar, for, listening and, taking the time to, educate yourself. Let's bring in Fisk. Fisk, are you there?
Good morning.
Fisk, where you calling from?
Jamaican born, American raised, Zambia visiting right now as we speak. Good morning. How y'all doing?
We're doing well. We are at nighttime over here, but yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, I have black fatigue, man.
You do?
And I've been hearing a lot of stuff in Jamaica, man, my homeland.
Oh yeah, okay, good.
Yeah.
You've been seeing, how they've been talking about Jamaica.
Not even seeing them. I'm hearing relatives call me. I'm not. What you're saying is not even propaganda. I'm hearing it directly from my own family members off the island.
Thank you.
I mean, just wanted to clarify and validate what you were saying is to be true. And we don't want them on our island. And this is not the first time due to this hurricane situation. Afrodamus, you could remember, I think it was a year or two prior. It was
it that lady? The lady?
Yeah,
I did the show here. I did the show here.
So they're having problems. I'm over having them on the island. As a matter of fact, I don't want them back on the island, like, to be honest, because they're prostituting the little kids, they're touching little boys. We also have black fatigue with some Jamaicans that are allowing these creatures on the island, further, just messing up our image and our morality and our cultural value system.
What African American in Jamaica is touching little kids? Stop lying.
Let the man finish.
Kwame, let the man finish. Let the man finish.
And this is, they talk out of
I'm
turn.
Jamaican too, so I don't hear. I never heard of that.
Kwame, when I did it, hold on. Stop talking.
This one was raised by his mother. Shut your blood clot mouth with me. I speak, Regin. You must have manners.
Talking crap.
Yeah, talk. Who's talking?
You are talking crap.
Where you from? What part of yard you from, Regin?
Boss, you talk bullshit.
Yeah.
That's what I need for
Hey, your worship idiots. Move and mute yourself. Go and talk after me.
Boss,
You're a
Jamaica
big man.
have one of the highest murder rates. What are you talking about morality? What are you talking about?
Murder rate, what?
What are you talking about?
Oh no, Acha, let the man. The man was here.
Emotional.
Acha, let the man talk.
You're too emotional, and you're too scared for your island. I'm not scared of my island. America is the biggest, most violent country on the planet. We're not complaining about it. Per capita, there's more
Jamaica,
guns on the mainland. There are more murders going on in the city of Chicago per capita than in the actual war zone. So
you got Memphis, Baltimore. You know, I mean,
I'm just saying, if you're gonna call, yeah, exactly, Afrodamus. Like, if you're gonna talk like that, then
look,
I mean, I don't understand.
fact, I'm doing the part 2 on the show even about Jamaica, you know, and you know, I've been seeing stuff. Last time I did it here, Kwame, he went AWOL, you know, he ran away, he wouldn't come to the show. You see?
No,
Yeah.
I'm not gonna. I'm a Pan African. I'm not gonna kick other black
A lot
people
of
back
FBA
in for
women,
the enjoyment.
a lot of you men need to be quiet when men are talking. You sound like a bunch of women on the panel talking over each other. I think a lot of you are raised by your mothers.
At least we ain't lying. And
Hold on,
A
actually,
lot
let
of
the
you
man
people,
talk.
you sound just like a woman. I'm gonna let you talk. You over talk like a woman too much. So I'm gonna let you talk first.
Let me talk, because I ain't lying. That's right. Let me talk, because I ain't lying.
Exactly. You're out of
You
turn.
making
I'm gonna
shit
get
up.
off the panel and let you. No. You
Yes, get
worship
off the panel, because you
FBAs.
making shit up. That's right. Get off the
You
fucking
make
panel.
Hold on.
get that. This Afrodamus.
Hold on.
I know this
Fist,
could be a coolie. He sounds like a coolie. He sounds like a
Oh.
coolie. I can hear your tone. I can hear you a coolie. You're not original. You're a mixed breed. You're a British slave. You worship the Black American culture. Please, hold your tongue. Coolie, hold your tongue. I know you. I know you. I heard the little thing in you're talking. You have that watered down patois. You're not one of us. Please be quiet. Don't fool people on the panel. You're not fully one of us. I can tell you're a coolie, and I can tell how quiet you got. You a coolie. Trust me, I'm 100% born on the island, Jamaican. Trust me, I know what I'm talking about. Now, may I speak?
You got the nerve to point at other black people in Jamaica got
Be
the highest
quiet,
murder
coolie.
rate per capita.
Coolie. The Indians say a dead coolie is better than the one that's alive.
I ain't
Coolie,
no
be quiet.
fucking coolie, you dummy.
That's exactly. You sound like a coolie, mixed breed coolie. You sound just like the Black Americans. They're mixed breed. You have
Bro,
the
make your
dirty
point,
blood in you.
man.
Be
Make
quiet,
your
coolie.
point. Make your point, bro.
Stop selling fake curry on the
You
island and
doing
get
all
off
this
our
ad
island.
hominem attack.
This-
Get to your point.
This guy
All
don't
this
know what
dumbass.
he's saying.
Hold on,
We
guys.
have black fatigue.
He don't know
Yes.
what he's saying.
We have black fatigue. Anyways, we have black fatigue.
don't know what he's
Certain
saying, man.
Jamaicans like this one don't hold the Black Americans to account because they're probably breeding with them, have them in their families. I don't have that tongue that I have to hold my tongue. I don't have any of them in my bloodline, so I can talk about them. Maybe he has friends that's, FBAs. I don't have friends with. Not that I have a problem with FBAs, but calling a spade, we do
That's
have
right.
criminals in Jamaica. As I said, we have Jamaican fatigue. You get me? So I'm not going to sit here and act like we're all innocent and hide my, like our ish don't stink on the island. However, we don't want these. I don't know about these type of Jamaicans, but we Jamaicans, we real ones, don't want them on the island. We hate them.
You ain't no real Jamaican.
Kwame, let the man finish. You see, that's the thing. You keep proving the point. He's been
This is
here.
that's how coolies behave. We have coolie fatigue on our island. We don't like them. We really don't like you like we don't like FBAs. Just like we don't like a lot of people coming to the island of your same tendency and your same mentality. You think you have a supremacist mentality. You get me? You don't have no supremacist mentality. Stop acting like you're a European white. European whites act better than you on our island than you monkeys do. So be quiet. Silence
the
yourself.
Zambians don't start thinking the same about you and kick you out of their country.
I've been up here 4 times and I'm married, sir. I'm not an ape like you. Be
Hopefully,
quiet.
they don't start thinking like you and get you out of their
No,
country.
actually, Afrodamus, our culture is actually welcomed and represented here very well in Jamaica, in Zambia. We have very good culture, rich culture.
We just watched Jamaicans steal a whole bunch of stuff that was sent to Jamaica for the hurricane.
Who's
You got the
talking out of
nerve-
turn? Who's talking out of turn? Fisk, I'm glad you came. You brought some sense in because we got this other. I don't know if Kwame is even a real Jamaican. He kept meandering all over the place. Because every time we do this show, he comes. He tries to. He said he's Jamaican, but he keeps trying to defend, FBA
No, this is
behavior.
a coolie. The coolies love especially they're weak minded. Those are the weak ones.
Yeah.
These are the weak ones. They should not speak for us. These are the weak for Jamaicans. They're like Diet Coke for Coke. They're Diet Coke. They're not the full version.
Afrodamus, this guy don't know what
You
he's
talk
saying. What is this
me
guy saying?
from Kingston, St. Andrews, pussy. My mother from Portland.
What is this guy
My
saying?
father from
And I'm from Red Hills.
Hills.
And I'm from Red Hills.
What are you saying?
I don't care where you're from. You're a fake pussy or you're a bad man and you're bad man. You're not bad man. Because the first thing you came out your mouth was to disparage your own people.
Kwame, you gotta hit him with the bumper
first thing
claps,
you
man.
did was
Kwame, hit him with the
this.
bumper
I know you're
clap.
not a real Jamaican. You know how I know you are unprideful Jamaican. You would big up foreigners that come in your own homeland and disrespect your homeland. That's how I know you're not a real Jamaican. You're a disgrace to us. So don't talk about. You may have the same title and nationality, but you're weak. You're weak.
Just because I ain't biased and just
You're
make
a
shit
weak
up
person.
don't mean
That's
nothing.
like me coming to Zambia, coming on the panel and talking bad about Zambians. That's like me going to the Gambia.
You got some nerve. You got some nerve when Jamaican. You got some nerve when Jamaicans come here with Bloodstained Gang, Shower Posse Gang, and they shooting up people in Philadelphia, Brooklyn, Dallas.
What's that have to do with
Maryland?
black fatigue?
And
What's
you
that
got
have to
some
do with
nerve
black
to
fatigue?
point fingers at other people? You're
What does
crazy.
that have to do with the FBA? So you're telling me, you're telling me a country with almost 20 to 40 million of Black Americans compared to an island of 2 million people. You're telling me they're the threat.
You think a racist is going to differentiate you from a Jamaican, from Africa? That's what you
Yes,
think.
they know
let me
the
tell you
difference.
something. Afrodamus. May I speak?
Yes, go ahead. Go ahead.
I'm a subcontracting truck driver for 7 years. Every time I walk into a European's house, right, or so-called white American's house, or a Spanish person's house, or even an I met a lot of nationalities, regardless of color and race. When it comes to your behavior, the first thing this is definitely, you know this to be true. Nobody's going to judge you immediately off your skin color. They're going to judge you by your character.
Yes.
Your character. They're going to they know you. And I've had this told to me a lot of times. You're not like them.
Yes,
You're
I've heard that
disciplined.
too.
I've heard this plenty of, and even
This
to
dude
point,
is a
I feel
liar
bad,
and a
you know?
fraud. I never heard a Jamaican
And
speak
it's
like this in my
triggering you
life.
because
Hold on,
This dude is a fraud.
Hold on, Kwame.
He's not
Kwame.
Jamaican.
Kwame, I don't think you're Jamaican. The way you are getting triggered,
He's getting triggered because he's a coolie. He's not a Jamaican. You're an immigrant on our island. You're a tether on our island.
He's a Jamaican tether.
Tether. He's a Jamaican tether.
This dude is up here licking the white man nuts to beat down other black people. You're licking the white man nuts, talking about when I go in a white man house, they know the difference between a Jamaican and a black American. What Jamaican would even talk like this?
Hold on, Kwame. Let him finish.
And you have the same sentiments, the same mentality as these low-caste black Americans. That's what the problem is with you. You have the same exact sentiments as them.
And Fisk, I've been seeing, like a lot of Jamaicans online, women, men, they share your sentiment. They said they don't want the blacks on the island anymore.
And this is not because of the hurricane. This is a thing we talk amongst ourselves. My grandmother always told me, don't breed with them, watch them. I mean, it hurts. I mean, the truth hurts, but just be careful because
you gotta be fair, though. You gotta be fair.
Guys,
just as if we were on the island, our parents would tell us, don't hang with bad man, don't deal with fast girls. It's a cultural thing. It's nothing to do with your skin tone. You get it?
Right.
You have people that
This dude is not no Garvey. He was raised.
He get it from his grandma.
Afrodamus, can I respond
My grandfather. Hey, listen. I'm bringing a point about the grandmother because your mother is the first one to transfer your child. Hey, your grandmother, your mothers are the first ones to teach you manners. In any household, you're supposed to know that your father's the one supposed to go out and work. When you get out of line, the father puts you back in place. That's the disciplinary in the house. Yeah. So if you don't have that structure already, that's how I know you're talking out of turn like a woman. You move
that's why your mom would always say, when your dad comes, I would tell him.
At least
Oh yeah,
You
that's
see it
that's
there?
scary.
Hey,
I
only
forgot.
Sketel, only
at least
Sketels do ad hominem attacks.
at
Real
least
men
I
have
ain't lying.
conversations.
At
This
least I
guy's a
ain't
You're
lying.
Sketel. He
projecting.
was
You're a
raised by
sketel.
Making
no,
stuff
You're
up and
projecting.
projecting. At
You're
least I ain't
projecting.
projecting.
You're a
Afrodamus.
sketel.
Afrodamus. He's no
Psychologically, that's what
Garveyite.
you're doing.
This dude was raised by Norman Manley.
Stop
This is a
stuttering and
sellout.
speak like a
He
man
was
with
raised by
confidence in your
Norman Manley.
voice.
He's no Garveyite. He was raised by Norman
He
Manley.
never
This
said he
guy's a
was.
Sketel.
First
to
of
be a little
all,
bit.
I was born on the island. I came up on the states, Miami, Florida, when I was a 4-month-old baby, high school graduate, successful man, married without no baby mama, baby daddy drama. I don't come from a baby mama background. I'm sorry. My parents were married. I'm sorry. Sorry to disappoint you, sir. I'm sorry. I'm so
Can I?
sorry. Do not project what your mother. This is a classic form of projection. Do not project your insecurities upon real strong Jamaican men.
Afridamus, can I double back on what Chris
Okay, real quick, and then we go to Ja. Ja
I'll be
hasn't spoken
I'll be
yet.
quick. So everything I said earlier, Afridamus, Fisk said it perfectly. See, even him as a Jamaican man who knows his bloodline, he knows his roots. Even the Jamaicans, they have their own code within themselves, Afridamus, where they talk with each other. They say, "Don't blend in with the African Americans." Same thing with in Africa.
No real Jamaican would say that.
Sir, please
no real Jamaican would say
none
that.
of us want to blend with you guys because again, like I said, the globe has black fatigue. When we say black fatigue, it means Black American culture.
And include your Somali pirates and Al Shabaab as
Here
too.
we go, piracy. See, that's such a low IQ comeback. With that, Afridamus, I'll stay quiet. Go ahead.
All right, Ja, your turn, Ja.
Hey, what's going on, Afrodamus? Good evening to the panel and the chat.
Good evening. It's going well.
So I think I'm the only African American on the panel. So I guess I can speak up.
Someone has noise. Who is it?
Yeah, someone has a feedback coming from the mic.
Hold on. Oh, that was Fisk. Go ahead.
Yeah, so I guess the conversation is about black fatigue. So I think, me personally, I think when people are saying black fatigue, usually white people, they're specifically talking about Black American culture, and not necessarily like the Black immigrants, because I think Black Americans, we have a different historical interaction with this country compared to like the Black immigrants, right? And obviously Black immigrants make up like what 0.1% of the population. So I think when white people are talking about black fatigue, it's mostly specifically talking about us, but it can also extend to Africa as well. For example, a lot of white people, a lot of white supremacists, they will call Memphis Memphica, you know, because Memphis
Memphrica.
is
It's not because of African, it's because blacks here are still called black. This African. This is why they will tell you.
No, but they use it as a use
racist
Memphica as a
on-
derogatory. They use it as a derogatory word because the perception of Africa is, you know, impoverished, poverty, that type of stuff.
Yeah,
and
yeah, but
just
but they are saying
indecent,
it because they. This is why someday you see they will say to you, "Why don't you go back to Africa?" Even if you're in New York, anyway, they will say, you know what? Because they, you know, like it hurt black people's feelings to tell them to go back to Africa because they always deny being African.
But specific.
So they always
specifically-
remind them and say, you turn Memphis into Africa. So that's why they call it Memphrica. But go ahead.
So what do you mean turn? So, but it's mostly derogatory. Do you not understand that?
I know that. I know. That's what I just said.
Yeah.
That statement is called the Afri spin, the Afridamus spin. Spin it to suit what he's talking about. He don't have no understanding to understand any
Here we go.
if he trying to twist it to make
You
it
see,
fit his beliefs.
Acha, when Fisk came, we pulled your Jamaican card. Now I'm even questioning if you're even Jamaican, man.
So can I finish, Afrodamus? Can I, Afrodamus? Can I finish?
Let Ja finish. Let Ja finish.
So I mean, as African American, as a Black American, I can understand the, I guess, grievances that some Black immigrants might have towards us, and I think a lot of it is based on their personal interactions. It's not like just made up. I think most of it is based on personal interaction with Black American, and I think maybe a lot of it is negative. But I mean, it is what it is. As a Black American, I also do have Black fatigue as well. When I see some of my people within my culture, misbehaving, acting entitled, yes, that is, acting hood rat, acting ghetto and rat shit. Yeah, that is the problem. I'm not, I'm ashamed of that. You get what I'm saying? Just like what happened in Jamaica. The videos that I watched in Jamaica with the Black American women that was misbehaving. It's embarrassing. When you see, some Black Americans, stealing from Walmart and stuff. That is embarrassing. So I'm ashamed of that. But that's not to say that every ethnic group don't have problems. I think our problems are more highlighted than everyone else's, but it is what it is. Like the Jamaican brother said, he actually was incorrect, right? He said that America has a higher murder rate per capita compared to Jamaica. That's false. Jamaica has the highest murder rate per capita, but I don't want to divert from that. But yeah, I think mostly
Chicago alone would rival Jamaica. We're not talking about Baltimore.
So
you're not naming other places.
So
America,
do you know?
Chicago alone. Just go look it up. They
But
rival.
let me ask you
They
this,
rival
Afrodamus.
even other countries. Jamaica is only 2 million people.
Yeah, so let me ask you: do you know what?
Afrodamus, we talk about per
Hold on. Let me
capita,
finish. Let
not
me finish,
total
Kwame.
numbers.
Exactly. Do you know what per capita means? It's
Well,
not
I
talking
mean,
about
I
raw
get
numbers.
that, but Jamaica has. Hold on. Because Jamaica is a smaller population. That's why I mentioned that. Chicago
Yeah,
has
but
a lot more people, but even
but the
per
but the brother
capita
said per
in the
capita. He was
south,
wrong in saying that.
in the south side, like amongst blacks, per capita, it's higher.
Yeah, but
That's a fact.
there's no statistics to prove
There is
to.
statistics to prove it. Go and compare even this some of these cities here in America to some of the murder capitals of some places in the world.
Afrodamus,
You
Jamaica,
would
Hold on, but
Jamaica
you
has
wouldn't
been the
a
see.
lot of
murder
those.
capital for the last 20 years.
Look,
Yeah, so let me finish my point,
look,
guys. So Afrodamus,
yeah.
Afrodamus.
You see, Archer, this is why they pulled your Jamaican card. This is why they pulled yours. Allow Ja to finish.
Yeah, so the per capita is different from raw numbers. So here I just looked it up. It says Jamaica has around 50 to 60 homicides per 100,000
But why are you guys
people.
deflecting to Jamaica though? The Jamaicans are
No,
saying fine,
I'm just
but they
correcting the
say
brother
no.
that
But I
Afrodamus,
get that.
Jamaicans is
But Ja,
black.
Ja, Ja, they're saying right. Even with all that, the Jamaicans are saying they do not want blacks on the island anymore because they've had enough fatigue. It doesn't matter. They could be, like they're saying, like even with all that, they don't want blacks there.
Afrodamus, you got two Jamaicans on
let
the
me
panel
finish.
that's
Can I?
disagreeing. So
That is no.
So Afrodamus,
Look,
Afrodamus.
I'm
So I
just going by
visited.
the real Jamaican. Ja, finish.
I
Go
was
ahead, Ja.
born in
All
Jamaica.
right, so Afrodamus. So I visited Jamaica
Yeah,
last year,
yeah.
and I not just the resort. I left the resort. I have connections in like certain areas in Jamaica too as well. So my interaction was 100% positive. Like I never experienced any hatred from Jamaicans in Jamaica, but I know that there's some Jamaicans here in America that might have this view towards Black Americans based on their experience with Black Americans. But
I know,
personally, my interaction there and
I know what you're
yeah,
saying. Most people, for real, like, yeah, if you go to the country, yeah, they're gonna interact because of that American thing. But when they come here, truly, they start interacting. Yeah, they start getting the fatigue. They start learning about how blacks really are over here.
yeah. So
That's
I
how it
think
goes.
it's a matter of, for us, we need to do a little bit more self-reflection,
Thank you,
and
Ja. Now you
we need
talking.
we need to do a little bit more because I noticed that a lot of my people do kind of lack self-awareness in a way, right? Not all, but some. And I just think we do have some maybe some cultural issues as well that we need to figure out. That's why I'm a proponent of like Black Americans having a cultural renaissance, and we need to prioritize certain higher thinking, higher level, studying and learning, and not prioritizing just entertainment industry and in sports. But because within our communities, a lot of these guys are celebrated. LeBron James and these people, Ja Rule, these people are celebrated more than some of the higher thinking people, So that's one, and I'm not ashamed to say it. People might disagree. Black Americans in the chat might disagree with me, but I'm just being totally honest, you know. And
Yeah,
that's
what do
not
you
to
think
say all
about what
ethnic groups.
Zanu was saying? That's what Zanu was trying to say.
Yeah,
Change it around.
and I agree with them 100%. And you know, for a long time, I always, you know, felt that Black Americans, we were the most like disliked Black people in the world, and I think there's a level of truth to it because when you look at when outside of America, the perception of Black Americans is based on what the media projects, and it's mostly, you know, criminality, Bloods and Crips, you know, and sort of that degenerate kind of culture, and it's projected out throughout the world. And even some young Africans, some young Caribbeans, they even see these things and start to pick up some of these bad behaviors, right?
Thank you,
So
John. Thank you.
So I think we are, yes, Black Americans. I think we are the most kind of like the most despised kind of Black people.
Yeah,
And
I wouldn't necessarily say that.
I can say that for Damas. I can say that. I truly despise Black culture. Like because
Nobody cares, though.
Hey, John, what about
Somali?
Somalia? What do you think white people think of Somalis?
Somalis
in
are
America?
insignificant in culture, sir. So
well,
Somalis
it's not. They don't really look too fondly, especially white Americans. They don't look too fondly on obviously Somalia, but that's not the conversation we're having today.
Exactly. Thank you.
But obviously, they don't look too fondly on Somalia, based on, you know, some historical
But you see,
things.
because
Black
white
Hawk Down, that
people,
type of stuff.
yeah, but you have to remember, like Somalis, yeah, they might not look too fondly of them, but they're not disrespected, you know, because there's battle there.
Well,
Like, they don't. Hold on. They don't have control over Somali culture. They don't.
Thank you.
You say Ilhan Omar. She gives it back. You see, she don't beg. You know, she comes with what they would call the disrespect first. Or like if they give it to her, she gives it back. You gotta see that. Like she's not cowering. She's not doing none of that.
And Afrodamas, Somalis even check Ilhan Omar because she gives us bad
the Somalis are because she's into
we
all
don't like
that
Ilhan
woke
Omar.
stuff.
Yeah, we don't like Ilhan Omar. She's terrible. We don't like her. We don't like her.
So yeah, I think my people, we just need to do a little bit more self-reflection, and you know, yeah. I mean, and that's not, again, I'm not trying to be like self-deprecating, right? Because there's obviously, you know, the bad elements within my people, within my culture is still a minority of people who are committing crimes and these things like that, but it's being exemplified through the media.
Well, they are the loudest.
They're the loudest, and they give the rest of the hardworking, you know, middle class Black people a bad name, you know. So and here's another point as well. I've noticed that in African cultures and possibly in the Caribbean as well, you guys practice more of a class distinction, right?
Yes.
We don't really practice. It seems like we don't really practice that in Black American culture.
Because you're too obsessed with race. You see, the Africans are more focused on class. Like we moved on from race. Race is an outdated system, but you guys are still stuck on color.
John, Vibes Cartel and Bounty Killer are honored in Jamaican
but would you,
culture.
the Somali brother, right? Would you agree that the concept of race doesn't really resonate with Africans on a continent?
It doesn't, because we're more tribal and classist. Like we focus on economy and tribe. That's our main 2 points.
Here's the point I was trying to make. So within Black American culture, within a Black American community, you'll have people who are various backgrounds in terms of class, right? In other African cultures, the higher class tend to separate from the lower class ones. You know, in terms of culture. I'm not just talking about economics, but in terms of culture, right?
Even white people,
and then the white people. Listen, I live Afrodamas. I grew up in a predominantly Black community.
Man, this internet now, man.
So I grew up in a predominantly Black community, and I went to predominantly Black schools. And now, as an adult, I moved to a predominantly white neighborhood, right? And I noticed that even with white people, when it comes to class distinctions, they're even more tougher on their lower class whites. You know, they call them trailer park trash and deplorable. You know, like Hillary Clinton said, deplorable. So yeah, we don't practice that more, and I think we kind of do to a degree. We have to, not to say to disregard the lower class or the economically lower bottom caste of our people, not to just throw them away or chuck them away. But there has to be some sort of cultural distinction, cultural separation in that regards, right? So I oppose. I say that the first thing that we need to delineate within my people is delineate from the low class culture,
Correct. Correct. Well said.
Hey, Vontae, maybe you should take Ja advice, you know, and tell
No,
your Somali
because
people to delineate from Al Shabaab, you know, the Sharia law where they're marrying, where they got child marriages. You know, the knife crime is high in Toronto, UK, and Minnesota. And you know, it's like that in all culture. I'm not gonna let Ja just, you know, denigrate only his people.
You're undermining Ja, Kwame. You're undermining
Vibes
Ja.
Cartel, Bounty Killer are honored in my culture.
What are you talking about?
Where they rap about murdering people and all type of things. So it's across the board. That's all I wanted to say.
Hey, yo, Kwame, you know what's the sad part sometimes when I kind of do self-reflection about my people is that we have some great people within our midst and in our history as well. We have some of the best innovators and scientists and a lot of things, right? Academics, you know, we have a great history when it comes to that, but it seems like within our culture, we don't really prioritize them. We don't celebrate them as much as we celebrate these entertainers and sports guys, you know?
Right.
These people should not be representing our culture. They shouldn't be like in Africa, someone like Burna Boy he's not gonna have a voice to represent Nigerian people.
No chance.
You know,
Zero.
they look at these people as entertainers. They are on a certain level. You know, they can't speak on high level issues. You know, but in our culture,
John, what about culture,
we have. Listen, I remember. Listen, I remember. Hold on, listen. I was born. Listen. I was born in the early 90s. Yo, Kwame, right? I was born in the early 90s, right? I remember when 9/11 happened. I was still in elementary school, right? On BET, you know, and this is just a small example, right? But on BET, they was asking for Ja Rule's, you know.
Oh yeah, I remember that.
Understanding. They wanted Ja Rule's understanding on what's happening in terms of geopolitics. When it's like who is he to speak on this? You know, like why are we looking up to these people? So. Again, it's not me. It's for all my Black Americans in the chat. It's not me being self-deprecating. It's just being aware and being accountable. Being accountable to my people.
Ja, I'll be honest, Afrodamas, I'd rather speak to a Black American like Ja than a Black American like Kwame, because Ja wants to see the improvement of his people, whereas Kwame wants to have the status quo. He just wants the ignorance to keep going. We are trying to.
Walalo, listen.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yes, sir. I'm sorry.
Listen, the reason why I feel this way is because I research my history and I know the great people within my history.
Right.
Even those who engage with Africa, right? You have people like Martin Delaney. You have John Robinson, the Brown Condor. You know, he went to go fight in Ethiopia against fascist Italy.
Yes.
You had other people like George Washington Williams. You know, he wrote a letter to King Leopold. He went to Congo and seen the atrocities there.
The Belgians, yes.
And wrote a letter to King Leopold, and it sparked the international outcry. He's the one who coined the term crimes against humanity. Even the term Africa for Africans, it didn't come from Marcus Garvey. It came from Martin Delaney. He came before Marcus Garvey. So I know that we have some great people within our culture, within our society. It's just that we don't prioritize it. Most Black Americans don't even know these people, these names that I just mentioned.
I agree, sir.
So what about the Louis Farrakhan's of the world?
Oh my God!
The Dr. Umar Johnsons of the world.
Oh my God! Here we go.
Are they not,
Kwame, stop,
exceptional speakers for the African American community too?
No.
I've seen numerous times Louis Farrakhan ended gang beefs, where he sat down with gang leaders and ended beefs. I've seen Louis Farrakhan sat down with numerous rappers and ended beefs. So we're not going to just act like
the same Louis Farrakhan that flip flops. 1 minute he's pro-black, 1 minute he's like, yeah, you know what, white man, thank you, white man. Like he's a flip flop. I'm sorry, I don't like.
I mean, can you give some people from Somalian community?
one thing I can say about so Somali brother, right? One thing I can say about the Nation of Islam. Maybe you can disagree with their philosophy, the ideology.
Yeah, go ahead.
Maybe you could disagree with it, but I can tell you firsthand, I'm from Boston. This is one of the cornerstones of Nation of Islam. Malcolm X grew up here, lived here. Farrakhan grew up here, lived here.
Yeah.
You know, the neighborhood where I grew up at is called Grove Hall. You know, this is like they call it the Mecca of Boston.
Oh.
So I've personally seen firsthand the good things that the Nation of Islam has done in the communities in terms of promoting family values, marriages, those type of things. Now, you could disagree with the ideology, the philosophy, but in terms of me personally, I like to judge a tree by the fruit it bears, right? So if your actions are proven good and is helping the community, I will support that. No matter what your idea, you could be a Muslim, you could be Christian, you could be atheist, whatever.
John, I agree. Anything that can help a community grow, I'll defend it. However, it's about consistency, long term, because the NOI has been. I was born and raised a Sunni Muslim. I've been to Mecca, by the way. I went to Hajj. I did the whole pilgrimage, and the whole community says that the Nation of Islam is not recognized under the Islamic umbrella.
Yeah.
It's not recognized. So,
I know.
However, if it works for the blacks. If it works for Black Americans,
Vante, can I ask you a question, brother?
They will, but a lot of Muslims will say that about Nation of Islam, but they do. A lot of Muslims would celebrate Malcolm X, who came from Nation of Islam.
But then
Malcolm X became real Muslim, like Sunni. Not
They also claim Farrakhan.
Remember when he went
but they do
to
that lying thing that they do, where they manipulate you. They'll say, "Oh, Farrakhan, yeah, he's Muslim, right? Muhammad Ali, he's Muslim."
But
So
which Muslims are you talking about, though? Which
the
Muslims?
Habibi ones in the stores, they'll utilize that as a bridge.
They invite you acting like these
to make
amirs.
conversation.
You acting like these amirs and sheikhs don't invite Louis Farrakhan to sit at their table and try to get certain problems. But Vanta, I wanted to know, can you name some, excellent Somalian examples where we could look up to? Like for example, we got like the J.A. Rogers, Arthur Schomburgs, the Martin Delaney's, the Marcus Garveys, the Malcolm X.
Yes,
do you have any positive,
hold
excellent
on,
people from Somalia?
Hold on, Kwame. The only mistake you guys make, you overhype your people. Only you look up to them. Even these people you're talking, I'm from Africa. We don't know these people. We don't look up to them.
You're lying. They got statues. They have statues of Marcus Garvey. Half of the flags.
Where?
Yeah, your leaders do. Your leaders respect those guys. Your leaders
are inspired by RBG flags.
Hold on. Where?
Come on.
Where?
In Ghana, Nigeria, Kenya. I can name about 10 countries where these people are honored.
Hold on. Let me. I can assure you that, like, for example, place like Gambia, where majority is Muslim, they look up to Somali leader than Marcus Garvey.
What Somali leader in Gambia they look up to?
Even for example, even Siad, even they have Siad Barre. They have even before him. They had Somali scholars.
Man, nobody know. Ain't nobody know that.
Hold on.
The Mad Mullah.
There is a Somali that left Somalia, went to Gambia to teach over there, build schools. What are you talking about? Marcus Garvey, this stuff, you are the ones that are hyping this. Let me tell you, even in the 70s, right? They had the Black Panther there. You think this is the first time, people going to Africa? They got kicked out of there. They got kicked out of Ghana too. So what are you guys talking about? You guys are the only ones overhyping these people, but we don't look up to them, This is why you keep trying to force them upon us. And Marcus Garvey never stepped foot in Africa. I read his book. And in his book, what I saw there, why would an African look up to him? He said, we want to go there to civilize the Africans. What the hell?
Hold on.
Are you really telling me the Pan-Africanism that Marcus Garvey laid out was not inspired by most of the African leaders that gained independence?
Nobody. Yeah. Let me tell you. First of all, here's the thing. You guys are mistaking. Like, first of all, even Kwame Nkrumah. You know who Kwame Nkrumah, is inspired by?
Oh,
Narendra Modi.
India.
In India, the man that fought for independence. Even Malcolm, what's his name? Martin Luther King. Martin Luther King, guess who he looked up to?
Gandhi.
Okay,
Yeah.
so
the same.
Hold on, let me finish.
The same Gandhi that
hold on.
Look, he called blacks. I'm sorry.
Yeah, but here's the thing. Like, you guys think because what they show you on TV and what you guys know, that's what control the globe. That's why you keep fooling yourself. People don't look up to this. You guys are the only ones.
So Afrodamus, why?
Afrodamus, as the only Black American on a panel, right? I can, I'm fine with that. You guys don't have to look up, and I think it's an error on
because it doesn't apply. It's different situations.
Exactly. We have two different historical experiences, right? So I don't have a problem with that. Like, I don't think that Black Americans should impose our culture, our way of doing things, how our philosophy, our ideologies on Africans at all. We shouldn't do that. We should respect people's boundaries.
We've been forced under that system for the last 30 years. We have been pumped with Black American culture, which is by the way,
but the anger is, I think, is misdirected because we didn't control the media projection of our culture into Africa. There's a certain group of people that I won't mention their names.
I know exactly.
No, hold on. Let me tell you here. In the Cold War, in like the 60s, they were bringing in people like Louis Armstrong, like blacks who were popular because Russia was getting a strong foothold. So Russia was promoting the idea that because Africans didn't know much about America, so Russia was spreading the word that America is racist against blacks in America, So that was creating more and more.
So you're saying that America used us as a tool to spread their hegemonic influence, right? That's
yes.
what you mean, right?
Yes. The CIA, they brought the black musicians, to go to these African countries to meet these leaders so that they can gain, African trust. You see what I'm saying? Even rap, all that. That's what it's. If you notice. That's what they push the culture to get to gain, African trust. That's what blacks were being used for.
Yeah.
You got, but it's not like people knew. They were sending these people so that Africans can trust America, white America.
Afrodamus, right? You know what I think is the root of the problem, right? In terms of why we seeing this back and forth between African Americans and Africans. And I hate to admit it because I grew up with Pan-African values, with black nationalist values. My family, my parents instilled that into me as a child. But I hate to say it, but I think our version of Pan-Africanism from the West is kind of the root cause of what we have here today, in my opinion. And it's because us black Americans that engage in Pan-Africanism, we imposed our mindset, our worldview onto Africans, and it's two totally different historical experiences. We need to respect each other. We need to
tribal. They still stuck in the tribal mindset.
That has nothing to do with. That has nothing to do with me. I think we need to, as Black Americans, we need to respect Africans' boundaries and not impose our worldview on them. This whole black identity, thing. This is something that was given to us by the white people, right?
It's not real. We have our own history, our own music, our own culture, our own heroes. You see what I'm saying? We do not look up to.
And you know what, Afrodamus, and it's beautiful. And it's beautiful. I'm a Black American that listen to Wasulu. I listen to Kora music. I listen to various traditional music from throughout the continent, even in Somalia.
And I'm not saying. Hold on. I'm not saying that
we need to have.
Hold on. I'm not saying that. First of all, I want to make that clear. I'm not saying we do not respect, the Black American heroes like Malcolm X, Martin Luther King. We do, but that's not who we look up to.
Afrodamus.
It's another problem too. I'm sorry to cut you off. It's another problem too, right?
John.
Real quick, just 2 seconds. 2 seconds. Another problem is we always use Malcolm X and Martin Luther King. These are social civil rights leaders, right? We always use these two. Yeah, well, socialists, I don't know, but we always use these two names. But we should be using the names of George Washington Carver, Mae Jemison, Neil deGrasse Tyson. These are people who are into STEM. STEM. We should be promoting them, and maybe Africans could accept that more, right?
Ja, real quick, if I may, Afrodamus, I dropped a screenshot. A screen share Could you pull up? Because I want Kwame to see this, because he mentioned what the Somalis do, and who is a big Somali name currently in this timeline. Afrodamus, can you pull up?
Where did you drop it?
I screen shared it, so if you see it, it should come up the link.
Is it in the private?
No. You see where it says screen share? It's a screen share. Hang on, I'll try again. I'll share the screen.
Oh, the screen share.
Yeah. Okay. I'll try again, and if you see it,
I'm not seeing it. Okay, there.
Okay. Hang on. You see that? What does that say? It says that the Dahab Shield group of companies reported annual revenue of 300 million in 2025. The company is recognized as the largest African money transfer business, operating 24,000 agent locations and branches worldwide. Abdirashid Duale, the CEO of Dahab Shield, is the richest man in Somalia, with an estimated net worth of $950 million as of 2025. While Dahab Shield revenue is 300 million, the net worth of the CEO, Abdirashid Duale, is significantly high. See, Dahab Shield is the number one money transfer in Somalia, Afrodamus. So, Kwame, what do you want to say about Somalis again, Kwame? Largest
That's
money
good.
transfer.
That's good. I never knew Somalia had a billionaire. You know,
Well, then be quiet.
When I was most people I even know, right? If it's outside that they look up to, like for example, like we'll look up to someone like Bob Marley, Peter Tosh, Bonnie Wailer, because Bonnie Wailer used to come to Gambia. You know, most people, like Jamaicans were like the closest to it. I'm telling you.
I agree.
You know where I come from. If there's Western blacks that most young ones were looking up to, they are usually Jamaicans. Like when I was growing up, like I love Peter Tosh. Like his posters was all over my room, and so. And there were other kids.
You ain't rock with Dennis Brown?
Oh yeah. Oh, I love Dennis Brown.
And by the way, Joe, like I said, like I have no full animosity to the blacks. I just want positive black culture being exported from America, not the negative, because we had that for 30 years, the negative. Let's see the positive for once. Positive black culture. And then you will never hear
you're not aware of Dr. Khalid Muhammad. You're not aware of Martin Delaney. You're not aware of Paul Cuffey.
No.
You're not aware of J.A. Rogers, Arthur Schomburg, John Henry Clark, John G. Jackson, Chancellor Williams, Francis Cress Wilson. You're not aware of none of these people?
No, that's because I went to school here. That's the difference, But if you like just regular person from my country, no, never heard of them.
Yep. But Afrodamus, ask them 50 Cent. They'll know 50 Cent though.
Yes, 50 Cent, Ja Rule, yes, they will know that. Yeah.
Hey, so Walalo, right? So Walalo.
Yes, Ja.
So sorry, my voice is a little bit coarse, right? But I would say that until us Black Americans are able to control our image, which we are, let's be honest, when it comes to the entertainment industry, when it comes to the producers and those institutions, right? We don't control the high levels of it, right? So we're not the one that's projecting our image around the world. We're being used. We're being used to correct. Hold on, we're being used, and some of the low elements within our culture is being used to spread into Africa and to the Caribbean.
May I chime in? May I chime in for something historical?
Real quick, I'll be 2 seconds.
Let me chime in something historical. May I chime into something historical? I'm sorry.
You agree that our low class culture?
Look at this Ketel trying to interrupt the conversation.
Guys, hold on, guys. Hold on. His internet keep messing up. Let's allow him to speak so that he doesn't. Go ahead, Fisk.
Afrodamus, I'm speaking to you because you know how to articulate things better than everybody in the panel. It's your panel. I'm going to respect it. Have you heard about the Talented 10th with the two different type of black FBAs? Well, not FBAs. I'm not going to demean them, but it was W.E.B. Du Bois and the other one, Booker T. Washington.
Booker T. Washington.
Yeah. I listened to a gentleman. He's passed away. It's David Carroll. I watch him on the YouTube. He spoke a lot about Black fatigue as a Black American born actual FBA from the soil, Black American, and I respect him a lot. He explained the problem with Black fatigue was due to the Black women taking upon the feminist culture, right, from the federal government. This is way before YouTube and any social media. They were talking about, he was explaining something about the talented 10.
Yeah. Are you there?
Some Blacks. Yeah. Some Blacks wanted to speak upon Booker T. Booker T was the Black.
Oh, your audio. Are you
is
there?
it me or did my internet cut out?
Yeah, his internet. Yeah, Fisk, your internet, disappointed you again.
In the
Are you
meantime,
there, Fisk? Yeah, go ahead.
In the meantime, I'll be quick regarding Ja. Black Americans have agency over what culture they want to export. If you keep championing the negative, this whole whole culture, this goofy rap culture, as a collective, then that's why the world has a Black fatigue. The onus is on your people, Ja, to say, enough of it, enough. We're not going to consume this garbage. We need to recalibrate and fix up our own culture. Maybe, but by the way, Ja,
I wanted to point to you real quick that the people who consume hip hop the most are actually suburban white Americans. It's statistically proven that this is true.
But it doesn't matter because the world is absorbing the artists. We don't care about the consumers in America. We are witnessing the artists and what they're producing globally. It's about the optics, Ja. So
no, but the art, but it's not the artist that's exporting the music globally.
White people buy it. They buy it,
so they're fueling it.
The young whites enjoy it. You see, so that's why I'm telling you, the CIA, they did their studies. Even you notice the Blacks they sent to gain the trust, to prove that, no, Russia is lying, we are not racist, right? They sent the entertainers, to these African countries. Ghana at the time, because Kwame Nkrumah, he went to school here, he had connection with some of these, intellectual Blacks. Yeah, he brought those people there, he invited them and other intellectuals around. But it was during the Cold War. It continued, up to now where we are. This is why if you interact with a kid or anyone in those countries, they're not going to know the people you're talking about, but ask them about 50 Cent.
Yeah,
they will know who 50 Cent is. They will know who Tupac is. You see what I'm saying?
Afrodamus on my mother's life. I remember my uncles, when they came to the UK, who they emulated? They emulated Tupac. They were emulating Nas. They were emulating Jay-Z.
Yeah. So you have to remember.
They were not emulating, Marcus Garvey and who's there, Carver, all these, Black legends. They were copying the negative Black.
Like they have pockets of, old school, Pan-Africans, like the Rasta type. Yes, those people talk about Marcus Garvey, from even I knew about Marcus Garvey, from the reggae music that I was listening to. So I learned about him, and also I read books about him at the library. Yeah. But I was among the minority.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was among the minority.
Afrodamus, tell me why my parents, born in the 60s, why were they listening to, Kool and the Gang, Ali's Brothers, all this while living in the UAE, in a desert in the 70s and 60s? Why? Because America was pumping their energy. They were pumping the culture around the world.
Because they were trying to get Africans to trust.
Your parents know about the Isley Brothers?
Yes, my father put me on that. My father put me on the Isley Brothers. Yes.
See, but this is the type of music that I would promote. They mostly talk about love, heartbreak. It wasn't degenerate.
Initially it started off. Yeah, I love that music. That was great music. But then slowly but surely, there was degradation kicking in slowly in the
The
80s.
degradation, I think the degradation happened in the mid to late 80s when
Yeah.
NWA kind of came out.
So that's why, if you look at it, right, like places like Gambia, we get like reggae musicians that come there. You get Sizzla Kalonji.
I seen that video. Sizzla
Yeah,
Kalonji.
Buju Banton, Anthony B.
Buju Banton, yeah, we get that UK.
Morgan Heritage, Burning Spear. I mean, like
Elephant Man. I know we got Elephant Man in the UK.
You know, Luciano, Beres Hammond. I mean, I can just name them. So I mostly we listen to reggae.
And Afrodamus, if I may to draw, like I said, the 70s, there was good music. So my question for Black America, why did you allow the music to become degraded and
well, they were making money. So
thank you.
It's about, see, rap started as a revolution, right? But then they started changing it. They, like I mean, I read about this book where it said they started getting the people to even the gangster rap. You see how they hyped it. They moved away from how they started, but they were more like militant. Waking
NWA, Public Enemy.
But Afrodamus, do you blame that on the African Americans or the record label that silenced groups like Public Enemy? You got Tribe Called Quest, Zulu Nation. These people got alienated.
Talib Kweli, Common. Yeah, the conscious rappers.
The thing is, I don't blame anyone. Like the people, their taste changed. You see, as much as, let's be real, I get it. We might not say the message isn't good, but
was considered one of the best rappers in the world. And a lot of these people that was conscious rappers got alienated by the record label. They did not.
I get
they
that,
stopped
but
signing them, and they wanted to sign drill like artists and gangster rap artists. We see that today.
Yeah, they were messages too good.
You rap about smoking on ops and stuff like that and get you signed. If you rap about positivity and uplifting Black culture and African culture, you won't get signed.
No. You're excusing personal responsibility, because who bought those albums in the 90s? It was your fellow Blacks in the hoods and stuff. They were buying those CDs, sir. No one put a gun to their head saying, "Oh yeah, go buy this gangster rap album." They bought them out of their own volition.
Look, let's be real.
But Walalo, who controlled the exploitation of this music, of this degenerate music?
Look, white people.
Who controls the high level of the...
I understand the control. If I may, I understand the control. But my focus is on the consumer. The consumer chose willingly.
The Jews control.
But I told you. But Walalo also told you, and you can look this up yourself, that majority of people that consume hip hop are actually white suburban people.
But hold on, but they consume it, but they don't act on it. Blacks act on it.
But that's not the point. The point is that they're fueling as degenerate music. They're fueling it by buying into it, by using their money.
Yeah, but blacks are making it. But blacks are making it. I mean, you can't blame.
Yeah, but who's giving them the spot? But who's giving these people like Little Dirk? Who's giving them the spotlight? Who's giving these people the spotlight? Who's signing them to these record labels? You have Jimmy Iovine. These type of people are signing these people.
Can I clear the air? I want to clear the air real quick, if I may, Afrodamus. 90s consumer was mainly Black buying physical CDs, and then after like the
you have stats to prove that. You have stats to prove that.
Please. After the 90s and 2000s, with Napster, LimeWire, all that, these young Caucasian students absorbed hip hop because
in the 90s.
And I agree with John.
You call them young white.
You
can't just call them white young savages or YNs. You see, when 50 Cent go abroad and he goes to these European countries and he sell out, it's no blacks in the crowd. These are white people cheering on many men and things like that.
Kwame, for example, I used to I love 50. Trust me, his first album, man. I mean, I still have I got this CD. It's
Get rich or die trying.
Yeah, get rich or die trying. You know, I love the Miniman, man. That gets me hyped, but I'm not. Yeah, wish death upon me, blood in my eyes, dog, and I can see. I'm trying to be what destiny be, and niggas try to take my life away.
Many men.
Yeah, look, I mean, it's a hype music, right? I mean, you can enjoy music, but I mean, the thing is, it just started, you know, this, you know, East Side, West Side, you know, it started getting crazy, right? It went from, you know, party music, from party music to people, you know, like really going crazy. Because I mean, like, I've been to, you know, the concerts, you know, like even what's his name? T.I. I used to love the Rubber Band Man, like
album.
you know,
What you know about? What you know about?
Yeah. So it's like
you was listening to trap music.
No, it was before.
Yeah, you guys are supporting this degenerate music, man. Come on.
Look,
Listen, we learned. That's Afrodamus. Like, moved on.
Yeah, but no, I mean, like I loved Ice Cube. You know,
did y'all listen to Tyler Kali and Common?
I listened to all of that. Like I'm telling you, but you know, I don't listen to the trap music. But eventually, you learn that like this become like it's degenerate, and also listening to it. There is no excuse for the person to act on what you're listening to.
Yeah.
You know, white kids.
I agree with you on that.
Yeah, you don't have to act on it.
Afrodamus, I have the perfect comparison. It's like, you know, you enjoy beer, alcohol, and then when you feel your liver kind of like, I'm done with alcohol, like no more.
Yeah, I mean, the truth is like, I mean, nobody. I mean, I don't know about you guys, but you can deny that they are, you know, they were entertaining for real. Like,
so let me ask you a question, Afrodamus. Are you upset or discontent with the fact that some Black American youths are acting on these music, or are you upset at the fact that the music is being exported to Africa and it's being used as a tool to corrupt the youth there in Africa? Which one is? Which one is worse in your opinion?
I'm not upset at anything. For me, like, for example, it's just like even movies. For example, like when you look at it, I used to watch like Rambo, you know, The Predator. I like those movies, you know, as a kid. But it had like a age limit because they said if you watch it, you know, you're going to act on it. But I watch all those movies. You know, I never acted on it. I just like it. I mean, sometimes, I whoop some kids' ass from what I see. But
hey, Afrodamus, can I ask you a question?
Yeah.
Can I ask you a question, Afrodamus?
Yeah.
Did you grow up in a 2-parent household?
Yes.
I think that might be the reason right there.
Grandfather, auntie, everybody, you know,
and I think that might be the biggest reason right there, right? Unfortunately, a lot of Black Americans, you know, they don't grow up in 2-parent households, and I've been in school.
On, Steve.
I'm being dead serious. A lot of us don't grow up in 2-parent households, and I noticed, and I thank God my family. It's not like that either. We grow up with both our parents in the household. Never had any family member go to prison. Never had any family member get killed out in the street, right? The thing about it is, I grew up in the country, right? So I grew up in like a rural area.
Rural area, okay.
Yeah, but I went to school with kids in the inner city, and it seemed like we like you said, we listened to the same music, but it's like they took it so serious, like they had to act out this lifestyle they see on TV. But for us, where we grew up at, it was just entertainment. It's like they had to live it out, and I think it's because, you know, they don't have no structure at home. When you don't have no structure at home, you go out and do anything. When you have a father in your household, you just can't do certain things, because if I try to act out like that, my dad.
Even I remember like when I was a kid, me and my friends, like we were kids, we watched like, you know, Boys in the Hood, Menace to Society.
Right.
But you know, it was just a movie to me, you know, to us.
I watched Boys in the Hood at the age of 6. Afrodamus at the age of 6. I watched.
Yeah, we, you know,
I watched that movie too, and I didn't go to sleep after they shot Ricky. I stayed up all night.
Ricky, poor Ricky,
Yeah,
man.
But Steve Jr., I think there's a level of truth to that, because I can even look at my own life with my own household, right? My children, I have a 6-year-old and I have a 4-year-old. they don't know anything about that type of stuff. Like I literally control everything they consume within their minds, you know?
Right.
Because to me personally, like a children's mind, especially at that age, is still developing. And I don't,
Right.
it's not what you tell a child, is what they see and hear. And they'll
Right.
absorb that, you know, they'll absorb that. And I don't want those bad behavior.
And
You know, I don't
and
want
here's
them to
another
absorb that.
thing.
I don't want them to absorb that within their subconscious mind and then somehow act it out in their actions, right? So I think it's a level of truth to that. The man in the household brings that structure, brings that discipline, brings that order, you know? So I
Right.
100% agree with that.
And here's another thing, right? They say it takes a village to raise a child, right? And and unfortunately, it's not everybody's criminals, but there's a lot. Brandon he's Defiant Brandon now. He always made a point that he said a lot of black people are not criminals, but they are enablers to criminals. It's like they don't say anything about it or they won't do anything about it if it doesn't. It technically affects them, but they still don't say anything. But like I said, how I grew up, right? You couldn't go out and act wild because the first thing if people see me out acting wild, they'll tell my parents. And my parents used to give people permission to put their hands on me if I got out of the line. So the last thing you want to do as a child is go out there and get in trouble. Because first of all, you don't want your parents to find out that somebody else had to put their hands on you because you're probably gonna get whooped again. That's how basically I was raised. So
Yo, Steve, I was born in the early 90s and I was raised the same way, bro. That's how it was, bro. Not even just the people in the not even just Miss Paul in the neighborhood, the lady that works, you know, that goes to the church and she's constantly watching everybody in the neighborhood, all the children. Not just her, she was able to put hands on me, but the teachers. My mother went to because I went to predominantly black schools, right? My mother used to, and my parents went to the teachers and said, if he acts up, you have permission, you know, to you know,
they used to give permission.
Afrodamas. Sorry, Steve. Real quick, Afrodamas. You know, these guys will talk about discipline. Afrodamas, you know, I don't know about your community, Afrodamas, but my community, when a Somali family says, "Yeah, we're going on a holiday back to Somalia," that's kind of scary for a young man because that means when they send you back home,
they
leave you there. They take away your British passport.
Privilege, yes, yeah.
And you're stuck. You're stuck in Africa. Good luck. When you're such a goddamn juvenile, yes, Vanti, yeah, we're gonna go on holiday. You go to Africa. Next minute, you're staying with your auntie, and your parents leave. Where's my passport? They took your passport. You're stuck. That is a way to learn. That's a lesson.
They do that to kids. You know,
I want to ask Steve Jr. a question, right? Because it seems like you kind of grew up similar to, and I think you know me from Kalashina, right? Are you Steve from Kalashina?
Yeah. Kala.
Peace to you. All right, but it seems like we grew up kind of similarly, right?
Hold on, my fault. My fellow, you used to be. Well, your people come from North Carolina, but shout out to North Carolina.
Yeah, my people come from North Carolina and Georgia. Yeah, Gullah Geechee. But But
so what do you think? Steve, what up, Steve?
Yeah, that's
Steve. What up, Kwame?
Yo, so Steve, do you think that within our culture there needs to be some sort of cultural renaissance? Do we need to practice more cultural class distinctions within our culture? Like, what do you think are some solutions that we can?
We got to get back to how it used to be back in the day.
But how can we get to that? How can we get to that when children nowadays have access to the internet? They have their phones. We're living in a more interconnected world where a lot of these bad influences, this negative and decadent culture it's in the palm of their hands. How can we control that? How can you do more to,
I mean,
how can you combat that?
It sounds easier than what it really is, but we have to get back to accountability, right? In these neighborhoods, and like I said, the only thing that's gonna fix it, we got to get our families back together, because
exactly. It starts with the household.
Listen, I always tell people that before there was ever like any gangster rap, there was already problems. Like there was already a chink in the armor. I say by the late 60s. When you start having all the welfare and stuff coming out, and all of a sudden you got the the households, like single parent households. They're not all Black Americans, but unfortunately, it's like 49% kids grow up in single parent households. So that's not good.
LBJ destroyed your community. Real talk. It was LBJ.
Yeah, and that's what happened. That's what happened first, and then the crack era came. It was heroin at first in the 70s, but in the 80s, the crack. When I asked older people, they said crack, like it literally changed the neighborhood. Like people just They changed neighborhoods, and I always say them dudes from LA, man, because they're the ones, them Crips and Bloods, because they not only did they have crack, they started dispersing around the whole country. They used to like. I read stories back in the day. They said that they went to Seattle and the crime rate went up by 200% when they came, and I said that's crazy. And
I have a question, Steve. I have a question.
Mm-hmm.
Do you blame the buyer or do you blame the seller or the buyer when it comes to
both?
But in your heart of hearts, who do you blame? The one who gives in to temptation, or the one who's giving temptation?
Both. I'm gonna tell you why, right? Because we like I grew up in a Christian household, right? In the Bible, right? You hold people that deceive people as well as the ones that are deceived accountable. It tells us that in the Bible. These people and once again, like I said, you got to put blame on both sides. These people from these record industries, they know exactly what it does. They don't care. It's all about making money to them. And what the Bible say, they said the love of money is the root of all evil. They understand.
They started worshiping money, and
exactly.
Yeah, people.
And idolatry.
They went.
Exactly.
It's idolatry because the way I see some of these young YNs, how they celebrate these rappers, this is idolatry. You know.
Yeah.
100%.
Right.
Because they took God out of their homes.
Right. But like Vanta, like I said, like the record, these people know. Like some of these, like I remember I talking to some rapper one time. He told me that he was like, "Man, I wouldn't let my children listen to this music, man, because it's probably gonna mess them up and whatnot." But they still put it out there, so they know they're doing wrong, but they put it out there anyway. Now, I also hold people accountable that consume it.
Hold on, you guys remember back in the days, like when in the awards, when people win awards, remember how much prayer they would say that's from Bible, like how they thank God. Now that doesn't happen, so that tells you, how far, Black people have gone away from what they used to do. But Princip wanted to say something.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, but a lot of that is like we got to bring back family, God, morals, and they got to make it cool again. They got to bring back shame. A lot of people, like you skip over the fact that even in the 80s when the music was becoming popular and stuff like that, there was a woman by the name of, I think her Sudali Sutton Tucker. Her last name was Tucker. And she had
Dolores Tucker.
Something like that. She had a major movement with the middle class blacks that was against the urban hood rat culture. And
are you talking about in LA, the one that was challenging them?
Yeah, she was challenging Tupac.
Yeah,
it was a whole case.
Snoop, Snoop did that, song about her disrespecting her.
Yeah,
I remember.
Here's the thing about that.
And class distinction, but many and the way we see it now today, we kind of forget that. So the fact that the shame became less and less, this degenerate lower class culture became cooler and cooler, and that's what changed the dynamics. So like even today, you have people who say, "I don't need a man," and then they'll complain about how hard it is to be a single mother. So we need to bring back family. We need to bring back God. We need to bring back morals. Even if you have to marry 2 wives, that'll be better than having a single mother. You see what I'm saying?
What's up with you and these 2 wives saying, man?
Well, I got promoted everywhere I go, bro.
On that note, let's do our closing statements. He's trying to do that Nation of Islam stuff. That's why he keeps talking.
Can I start first? Can I start first? I don't have like a long monologue. I just want to say it was a good constructive conversation. And salute to the panel. Stephen, Princip, I dropped a link, and anybody else is more than welcome to join, but I dropped a link to my Telegram group where we have discussions like this, and we talk about geopolitics, culture.
Right.
So it's a more Afrosphere sort of Telegram group. So you guys are more than willing to join. Peace, everyone.
Peace.
God bless y'all. God bless y'all. I'm gonna close out.
That want to bring back colonization.
I'll go next. I'm gonna go next. Oh well.
Go ahead.
Okay. I just want to respond with the Principe real quick about that whole sister. Was Dolores Tucker, I believe her name was. I think she was fighting a losing battle. The reason why I think she was fighting a losing battle because she was going up against these record companies and whatnot, and those record companies, I mean, you couldn't do nothing about that. Like I'm trying, like a lot of these rappers, they ain't got no real money. They really don't have no real money. They got a machine behind them pushing them. They don't have like so when what's that group called back in the day?
NWA.
No, not NWA, but the dude that went to court. The dudes from Florida.
Oh,
Two Live Crew. Okay. Do you think they fought those lawsuits and whatnot about the music? Do you think they did it with their own money or the record label's money? These guys, exactly. These guys. That's why I say it was really a losing battle because you gotta. There's one thing I always tell Kyle all the time. You know all that xenophobic stuff you be talking about. But I do agree here on one part. It would be better if we had certain people that control the black community because right now, I don't think black Americans, some of us, like need to be living in democracy. We need a benevolent dictator and whatnot that's gonna get people back on track. That's why I truly feel like that's the only option. But I don't. It would never happen.
They should make me their king. I'm telling you.
Listen, Afro Diamonds.
Yeah,
I would love if you did, but
it would trust me. It would, it would straighten out. Trust me.
I'm the same way. Like it's unfortunate. Like some of these dudes
in 5 years tops.
I believe you, and that's all it would take. But unfortunately, I don't think that could happen because some of these dudes and some of these females, they need to get knocked upside their head and whatnot. Talking to them ain't working. So, but yeah, on that note, I'm closed out. So thank you for having me on the show.
So God bless you, Steve. You know what I mean? But that's very true. They need collectively we need an agenda and a level of respect. I see your guy Zanu got a new title. He's talking about we need to bring back colonization, man, which is very questionable, man.
Well, you didn't listen yet. I'll listen to it and I'll bring it around. We'll listen to it.
You know, like I said, but if you look at a lot of the people I
you
respect.
triggered?
No, I'm not triggered because, like I said, overall, I disagree with that off the bat because I look up to people like Malcolm, Jean-Bertrand Aristide, people like that who call for self-determination. Trump, these guys call for self-determination, self-respect, and having an agenda.
But look at the nations. How are they doing, though?
What are you talking about?
Well,
the African
nations, are they talking about that? Are they talking about that?
They don't have an agenda. They don't have a collective agenda. Exactly. Even if you look at what's going on in Nigeria.
Yeah. So that's what I'm saying. They don't seem to know what they are doing.
I think it's because they want to be the sole leader, right? So rather than coordinate with one another and build a better conglomerate, these guys want to basically be the sole leader. And sometimes the conflicts that's happening in between those regions, they can't handle them alone. Some of these resources that they're having or in their region and areas, if they was to cross coordinate, they'll probably produce to the highest maximum of their ability, but they're not doing it. You know what I mean? The white man is smart enough to understand, okay, we need some coordination. I may not be able to do A, you can do the wines, I do this, I do that. It's coordination. Sometimes, you got to do what works that you did in the past and also learn from others. And, people don't want to do that, and the same thing goes for our community in America. The collective black community needs an agenda. You can't,
thank you.
You can't succeed without an agenda. That's my main point. But God bless you. Good night, bro. Salute to the professor.
And give salute to Zanu.
You're too smart for that, man.
All right, peace. Vanta, closing statement.
Closing statement. I mean, it was amazing what I've engaged with tonight, Afro-Diamonds. Like, speaking of black fatigue, and then they deflect to Somali piracy and Al-Shabaab, blah blah. Like Afro-Diamonds, real talk. Like when you criticize, the Black American culture, they always want to deflect to African culture. Oh, look what's happening in Gambia. Look what's happening in Somalia. This and that. I'm like, the whole world is watching you. America is the global empire. America is the global hegemon. Most of the world uses dollars. Am I wrong, Afro-Diamonds? We use dollars everywhere. Yeah. You are the empire. So, of course, that all eyes on you, according to Tupac. All eyes on me, all eyes on you. So, don't feel attacked. It is a critique, and there's no hate. It's just like we are tired. Like I said, for the last 30 years, Afrodamas, we have absorbed the negative aspect of Black culture that's been pumped out to Asia, Africa, and Europe. There would not be Black fatigue, Afrodamas. There would not be Black fatigue if we had the positive. Imagine Afrodamas. We had good music, good fashion, good culture, good decorum from America regarding Blacks. We would, again, tourism, even tourism. There's no decorum when they go overseas. They want the natives to bend to their knee, and natives are retired. We don't want to hear it anymore. We're sick of it. So I'm sorry. Black fatigue again equals Black American culture. Black fatigue does not mean African. Black fatigue does not mean Somali, Gambian, Jamaican, Caribbean, whatever. Black fatigue equals African American. That's my point, Afrodamas.
Well, yeah, they know it. I mean, you know, I'm sure you are used to it by now.
I know.
Those two will do that. They will do that. That's
Afrodamas. I'm tired when they say, "Oh yeah, but you're Black in Europe. You're Black." I'm like, no, because even in Europe, Afrodamas, even in data and I hate that word, statistics, it says Somali, Moroccan, Egyptian, blah 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 blah, Libyan, like. They break it down in every African nation. They don't say, "Oh, you're Black."
Man,
there's no Black.
They're playing games.
I know.
I mean, yeah, that's Archer for you. He does that all the time.
Yeah. And that's me telling for the people in the chat. But
Vanta, how did you like it? The real Jamaican came and snatched their heart.
Yes. Listen. I live in London. I have Jamaican friends. Yeah, like Fisk. Fisk is the real one. He is the real party man.
Yeah, because I was even questioning Kwame and Archer's accent. Their patois is not that strong. They have they have like the shaky one
and too Americanized, right? A little bit too Americanized.
They have this. They have the tap dancing one. This one.
I can do some shuffling too. Look out, man, what you gonna do? Look out, boys, it's coming through. Yeah, man, Boy,
that's how they were. Fisk was cooking them. That's how they were jumping.
that man called Makuli, sir. A coolie that's like even in parts of Africa, like even in Somalia, a coolie is like a term for like you're a peasant or like it's not a good name. It's a negative name.
Yeah, I kind of suspect that. But thank you so much for coming.
Thank you for having me on Afrodamas. I enjoyed the conversation, and hopefully we can have more about this whole discussion.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Thank you, sir. Have a good night.
Enjoy. You too. All right, ladies and gentlemen, that brings us to the end of the show. And I'll check out your group for sure. I'll join in, and you'll see me there as Afrodamas. Ladies and gentlemen, those of you that are coming later, feel free to leave your comments, and those that are watching, you can leave it as well. So we've touched, we're talking about Black fatigue, but you guys know how the conversation goes here. It veers off and then we come right back. But, it's open. We can agree to disagree, but at the end of the day, it's all about having the conversation and finding solutions. I hope you guys enjoyed the show. I sure did. And I'll see you guys on the next one. Peace.
Lend thy ears to the Afrodamas. Pay attention to the Afrodamas. The true Soninke warrior, natural is his intelligence, as a true professor, solution to brainwash diseases. Sit back, relax, and hear the wisdom. Afrodamas will heal your minds. Sit back, reflect, you'll find no objection. Afrodamas will clear your doubts here. Always log on to the Afrodamas. Lend thy ears to the Afrodamas. Is the truth and no doubt the Soninke word.